Do something about it.
Hey, 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 hey. Hello. What's up, YouTube? It's your main man, ABD Hero, back again with another video. Appreciate everybody for tapping in and tuning in. As y'all come into the building, hit the like button. It's always appreciated, and definitely let me know where you're tapping in from in the comment section. If you know, and go ahead and throw a fire emoji on that boy as well as you come in the building. For sure, for sure. 4 years and six scores, 7,000 years ago. Um, Let me see. Let me make sure I got it. I should have said her. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Make sure we got everything lined up. Let me get this off the screen here. All right, all right, all right. Pull that off from yesterday. All right, shit, made man, AB the Hero. We are in the building. We got a few different things that we need to talk about in today's live stream. This is a call-in show today. You know what I'm saying? So the panel, I will have the StreamYard link in the description so you can pull up if you got something to say on these different topics. I need to start checking everybody on all their bull. We definitely got to get into the Kyrie Irving situation that I feel like is escalating quickly into something that is very scary, very, very scary, right? Now, as I look over here on the screen here, there's something that's interesting. If I don't know if all of this jazz could turn into maybe Kyrie sliding over to LA, which would be a moment. But I think in this video we're going to go through the basketball interwebs. There's a few different things that I want to talk about, touch on, and then kind of react to, and we'll get into in our conversations throughout today's stream. If there are topics that you want us to get on, definitely drop them in the comments section. And if time permits, we will turn up on that right there. Let me see. What is this one here? I got some extra stuff. All right, that's on the third screen. Copy live. Oh, I see. That's for if we were doing chats in here. All right. I'm just checking. All right. I got a lot of different setups here, so I was looking at all of that stuff. Okay, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. First things first, shout out to that's not RJ treating Kyrie like Kanye. Noti gang. I appreciate the folks who is a part of that notification game. Like as they always say, y'all are the real MVPs. We're gonna talk about Gelo and his game. I think I actually got it pulled up here. And shoot, man, I feel like we might even be able to just go ahead and watch these last 3 minutes. He did not play until the final 3 minutes of this game here. And obviously, if you're a Gelo fan, you disappointed in that. But I mean, if you really looking at it, hopefully it's just part of the journey. One of the things that's always interesting is that you never you're always moving. Time is always advancing. So who you are today and what situation you're in today, sometimes that changes, and hopefully that's going to change for your boy Gelo. Let me do this, man. Let's take a quick look at this here, and then we'll kind of slide into some of the talk. Why you think that is some BS, bro? Let's see. I don't think he got in the game until around this point. Is he in? Yeah, there he is. So about 4 minutes. He played the last 4 minutes or so. I can tell you that I don't know really, right? I feel like we've heard so many different thoughts and that people have on why this is happening, why he's not playing. And for the most part, man, it's just probably not his time, right? I will say, if you watched him chilling out on the bench right now, he seemed a little bit more engaged, more excited about what was going on. So hopefully that plays itself in his favor. One of the most important things for him, though, is as he gets these minutes here, he has to utilize them and then make the most of that time. And so if you will watch these minutes, and then we'll kind of see just right off the bat, do we think he's utilizing the time the best way? All right, so my man checked in. Here's running back down to that corner. Let's see. All right, is he out on that break? I think, though, if I'm being honest, it is just hard sometimes when you really look at this basketball. Obviously, that's a solid shot right there. But here we go here. You just got the picked up the loose ball. You're slowing it down. Obviously, they're going to run the screen here for you. And then we get a foul, right? In a perfect world, you'd be able to initiate some offense right there, and you maybe get a shot at the lone guy who's in the corner as everybody else is spreading the floor over there, where we didn't get to see that. Let's see, we fast forward here, man. Shoot the free throws. As you come in, please hit the like button for the boy. It's always appreciated. All right, can we get a board here? Didn't grab the board, but we out on the break, and then they foul. Ball stayed. All right. Fast forward through here. Definitely, if we get the thing to 15 likes, that's a clutch. All right, let's see what you got for me in the comments here. Can I pull up where am I? Here we go. How Gelo do? All right, I gotta pull this here. I love Hornets new coach. Is that what that's supposed to say? All right, game's back going. Let's check it out. On the defensive possession, my man Gelo down here in the corner helping out, closing out there. So this is what I'm saying. All right, what do we see here, right? Obviously, he's protecting the paint here a bit, right? If the guy drives, he's helping. We see the rotation. He sees the man here. This man is cutting backdoor. He in a shitty position right now on the defensive side, where they're going to leave either him open or him open. He closes out here. Oh boy does a good job of pump faking it and then dribbling and finding his spot. Gelo on another closeout, cash and splash. That is why they get paid the bucks to play the game. Bro, they doing Gelo so dirty, especially how well he played recently. I don't know about that. I think it's hard because in all of the preseason games, right, we didn't see him get a ton of minutes. So it was a struggle, right? You sit on the bench for the first 2-3 hours, and then all of a sudden you get in the game. When you're a shooter, sometimes that's hard to do. All right, let's get in on the offense. We got Gelo here. The ball to him. This is the type of things that I be saying, right? If Gelo is going to make the most of this opportunity that he has, these are the shots that he got to knock down. Did I miss it? Right, this is a play. They got to set it up for him, hand it to him. You're a shooter. In the NBA, if they give you that wide open, you got to knock this one down. Back iron. Gotta hit that. That's your shot. That's why the fans watching. That's why they bring you in the game. You got to do that. All right, here we go. Out in the fast break. My man here. This is the G League, bro. Get out in transition. Make a play. Get a highlight. My man here wide open. But it's the same thing. He's got to knock that shot down. If he wants some success, he's got to knock that shot down as well. All right. On the defensive end, what we doing? All right. Okay, good job. Don't let him go right by you. Force a turnover. And then on the other end, my man who just slowed it all the way down now decides to go 3-on-1, losing the ball out of bounds. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. All right, offensive possession here. Man down there and on the box. In the corner again. I see. Here's the difference between last year and this year that I'm liking from Gelo. You're getting a lot more movement. And you see him trying to go get a board. Transition defense, good stop, but don't let him get it that easy. All right, here we go back on the offensive end. Up to this point, we've seen Gelo take one shot. Now they're just gonna hold it. Damn. They didn't even run a possession. They just like that's the shit I hate. I got the Hornets game on over here too, yeah, and they getting blown out right now. Man, bro, I got too many screens up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bro, the Hornets are doing atrocious. They are, man. I think the Hornets is in a tough situation. Obviously, that's a really good Grizzly team that they playing. But they got Gordon Hayward out. They got Melo out. Terry Rozier out. Like, they supposed to be pretty bad tonight. AB say, when my man Zip, can I get this on the screen? Yeah, okay. Hey, the super chat from Zipmo. AB, when will other black players step up? We about to get into that situation, and I think it's a tough situation for these guys to be in. And all right, let me do this. Let me cut this one out here. Let's do this. Let's get into that real quick. So obviously we seen the game is over. Man, Gelo played only a few minutes, but you know what I'm saying, still solid. We can't. All right, let's get into this real quick. First off, if you're in the building right now, man, definitely hit the thumbs up button. Somebody just hit it, and I appreciate it. We got 24 likes, 25 people in the building. 14 likes, always appreciate it. And shout out to my man Zipmo with the super chat. Now, what my man Zipmo is referring to is the things that are happening right now with your boy Kyrie Irving. I put too many eyes in there. Let's do this here. All right. I'm gonna pull this up here real quick. Instagram. I think, where did I see this at? Nice Kicks? Oh, it's everywhere. All right, here's what it is. Boom. So this is Safari. I don't know why I follow Safari, but I do. So obviously, my man Kyrie Irving has been in the news a ton lately. From situations stemming from a social media post that he had a while back. Now, as the news has unraveled, what we've seen is that the intentions behind Kyrie's post and the interpretation behind Kyrie's post don't match up. However, instead of initiating some like honest dialogue and conversation, it seems like they sent the lynch mob over at Kyrie Irving. And it's so funny because we're in this climate and this conversation in which there's this community of people who are so afraid and appalled by Kanye's, I'm sorry, it's a similar conversation though, but by Kyrie's post because of the traumatic experiences that they have with some of the content that was in there. However, I don't think that people realize the traumatic experiences that we are feeling, that other populations are feeling, watching these type of things happen to guys like Kyrie Irving. And even though he crazy, we just saw what happened to Kanye West, right? There's this kind of situation that's brewing in which you're not allowed to speak on certain topics, or they gonna get you up out of the paint, and they gonna get you up out of the paint in more ways than one. And we learned from this Kyrie Irving situation that it ain't even really about you even speaking on certain topics. You just can't even remotely be associated with certain topics, and they gonna get you up out of the paint. It's even crazier with this Kyrie Irving situation because it's who is associated with certain topics that could get you out of the paint, and not even just the fact that you associated with certain topics. What do I say that for? If we go over here, let me see if I can pull up Twitter. There's these conversations that people are starting to have over here around. Man, Twitter is a hodgepodge of crazy, man. So let me do this real quick. I don't want to have that up there because no telling what's gonna pop up. When Rat Walker reads and other. All right, let's see. Let me look up this clip. Well, I don't even need to look it up. I can explain it to you. The conversation around this thing with Kyrie Irving that's kind of piqued my interest is the one in which people say, well, hold on a second. Y'all going at Kyrie Irving and y'all damn near crucifying him right now. However, this thing that he promoted was on a platform that is then making money off of this message. And nobody talks about the director. I don't know. There's just a lot going on with that. But this is what I said earlier, that in this stream, we're going to actually, this is a call-in show. So what I want to do, and just hold true to what I'm saying, is I want to invite some folks into the stream. You can jump in the StreamYard link here, and then we'll pull you in on the back end if you have something that you want to add to the conversation. So I want to get that off the chest right there first. So if you do want to jump in, you can, and all of that jazz. However, now let's go back to this. I was on Instagram here earlier, and like I said, these social media platforms, sometimes it's hard to just scroll down them because you don't know what's coming up. But I saw a lot of this. People coming to, it just was announced that Nike will be suspending their partnership with Kyrie Irving. And now I'm starting to see more and more black folks who are like, yo, this is some bullshit. Stop acting like y'all know what hate speech is. Posting a movie on your IG isn't promoting hate speech. Nike, if you feel that strongly about it, tell Amazon to stop selling Nike products. I love basketball, but I wish players would go on strike for this. I see a lot of this happening. More and more guys saying, yo, it's time to set some stuff off, to go on strike. Let me see, man. I already said I ain't gonna scroll this on it for y'all. Let me see. Let's go here. Somebody else just posted this. My man DJ Academics. And what's even sadder about it, to be honest with you, is this is after Kyrie Irving apologized. So let's pull that up too while we're here. That's not real. Let me pull it up. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So in response to all of that stuff that was going on, this is what Kyrie had to say. While doing research on, I think it's Yahweh, if I think that's correctly how you pronounce that. How they're trying to go at Durant. Yeah, I saw this too. I want to talk about that too. I posted a documentary that contains some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive to Jewish race, religion, and I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I'm grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge and want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. To all my Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused pain and apologize. Let me make sure anybody. All right, yeah. caused pain and apologize. I can't even see. I initially reacted out of emotion on being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic instead of focusing on healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. Now, I think it's so funny to me because most people who responded to the documentary thing didn't necessarily watch the documentary thing. Just somebody said that this is what is in the documentary, and then people reacted to it, right? From my understanding, because I ain't going to watch it either, you know what I'm saying? I heard that the documentary is like $50 on Netflix, on Amazon, and it's like 3 hours. It's like $50 and it's like 3 hours. So most people didn't watch it, but most people were hurt by it because he posted it. So it's not like they say, oh, damn, Kyrie just recommended this documentary. Let me tap in real quick. And then they started watching it and it was appalled. It was more so the headline thing that we got to go, that people went off on. And so within this, a lot of people responded. My man Devin in the lab say, can this be all over now? A lot of people thought that this was the end of it, right? Like, all right, he spoke on it, he said his piece, he apologized, that's what everybody wanted, and he gave, I'm sorry, right? Later today we come to find out, let me look it up. What was it? Academic? Who posted it? All right, let's try this. All right. Oh, damn it. Here. Nike has announced it is suspending its relationship with Kyrie Irving effective immediately and will not launch the new Kyrie 8. So this is what I'm saying. So apologize. People were begging for him to apologize, begging for him to denounce this, begging for him to denounce that. He finally did it. And then Nike said, you know what, bro, that still ain't good enough. We're getting you up out of here all of the way. Now, if you look at this, you see a lot of the responses. Ace Boy Pun from over there in the No Jumper verse. That's crazy. They just proving Ye's point, but child labor is fine. Nike, y'all doing the absolute most. Like, people, we got to stand up to this and support Kyrie. This could be you. This could be you and your day. Yeah. So I see this here. What I'm saying is that you're starting to see more and more. It's cultivating the response that people don't want. Like, I think that this thing where they take these prominent black figures who maybe make a mistake and then strip them all the way down is not playing well in the favor of people's eyes. It definitely speaks to me the value that folks see in you, right? When the message is we don't really need you. The message is you need us more than we need you, right? We can literally, in the case of a Kanye West, who obviously made some crazy remarks and some controversial statements, but what they showed him was, even as these corporations, we don't need you to make money. Even though Adidas does, because I think he was like 60 or 70% of their revenue was coming from Kanye at the time. But the banks shut Kanye down. Chase Bank said, bro, we don't even want your money. $140 million in here, bro, take it back. Which is hard to deal with, right? If you think that they can turn down Kanye's 140 million, your 30,000 in the account is getting smacked. Without an issue. All right. Hey, we got 47 people tapped in. Could y'all do me a favor? Slam the like button. Slam the like button. Slam the like button. All right. Let me get into some of these comments. Like I said, man, we got the StreamYard link in the comments. If you want to join the conversation, definitely feel free to hit the StreamYard link. We're going to be talking about a bevy of topics tonight. We will be watching a few different clips as well. I'm going to see if I can pull up this Kyrie. This is the one that I wanted to watch on here because this one was wild. Var's right. Yeah. All right. Let's see. My man says, all right, let me read through some of these and then we'll jump on the boy. All right. Let's see. Shout out to Zipmo again for that super chat. We will saw what they did to coach. When you're black, telling you better say what we don't like, and we have power to destroy. Facts, man. They do. Let's see. Now they're trying to go after Durant. I did see this as well. And I'll play the clip from them asking questions. So I want to also look at two things. I want to look at Kyrie's recent clip that he did, and then you could just hear the line of questioning that he got from the interviewer, and then we'll listen to the clip with Kyrie Irving as well. Kyrie should have stood his ground. I feel like at this point, after they still gonna take everything from you, shit, you might as well stand your ground on it. But here's what I'll say. That's how I feel like, from an emotional standpoint, that's how you most of us would feel, right? Damn, I should have just held my own. However, if you're looking at it from a human standpoint, right, you don't really want to hurt people. That's the problem with this situation to me, is that I could tell you from my experience, right? I am on this internet all of the time, and people are consistently shooting a shot, trying to kill the boy, talking behind my back, slapping, all kind of shit. And I don't get into that because I don't want to hurt nobody, right? I grew up in an area and in a space where people got hurt all of the time, where people died, people such and such, and I just don't even want to be a part of that. And I think that what's so hard is that these people get their feelings hurt, and then they turn that around and they try to do whatever they can to tear you down, to kill you. Period. You could say something. You don't even got to say nothing in this instance with Kyrie Irving. Literally, he posted something on the internet, and they are taking money out of his pocket. People just are ultimately pissed, assassinating his character. I heard people call it, what do you call it, economical warfare. All of this stuff. They want an apology. They want you to bend over. They want to do all of this stuff to you. That's echoed in the internet across the board. And it's hard because if you are a person of some type of moral character or ethical values, the only thing you can do to prove that you stand on your own ethical values and moral character is not stoop to their level, right? That's the thing that Kyrie Irving has to do in this situation. How most of these people will respond: if Kyrie Irving posted this thing here and you felt like it was inappropriate, and then the response was, because I felt like you did something inappropriate, I'm going to hurt you more than you hurt me, I think you hustling backwards, right? And it's the same shit. I see it on the internet all of the time. Folks on this internet spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours talking about people, critiquing their every move, critiquing their whole lineage. And then you say something about them one time, and they pull out the knife, they pull out the gun, they pull out and just kill and stab everything you got going, disloyal, such and such and such and such. And that's how they react to things. And the only way to prove you're not that type of person is to not engage. But when you don't engage, and to me, truthfully, I think that's what make people even more madder at times, which is what I feel like we got from Kyrie Irving. Except for, instead of like fully not engaging, he prodded them a little bit. But like he said in that post, it was from an emotional stance. Let me see. Let's get through here, and then we'll watch some of these clips. So if the NBA player posts a movie roost, they can be suspended. You would think so. Here's also my take on this, right? And I appreciate y'all for slamming the like button as y'all join the stream. I didn't watch it, but I just saw. I would never watch it. I don't even get into that stuff. It don't even tickle my fancy or get me interested in the slightest. But the number one movie on Netflix just a while back was this movie about Jeffrey Dahmer. This movie about Jeffrey Dahmer is about this dude who was doing all kind of vile stuff to black people, and that's the number one movie on Netflix. Right, in a world where we so conscious and aware of people's psychological how things impact us, and the media makes us feel a certain way, and we so worried about where these ideas can trickle down, where even if you post the link to some bullshit that nobody's ever gonna watch, you could have a negative impact on people. And then the number one movie on Netflix is Jeffrey Dahmer, about a dude who is on you know what I mean, taking people out and doing all kind of weird shit to black folks. And nobody's like, damn, Netflix, why do y'all invest all of that money in to make this movie? I don't know. That's the shit that gets me going, right? Because I see the double standard, and it's kind of crazy. Let's see. And that's why Lavar is right. You own your own brand, they can't fire you. Here's the tough part, right? Is you're right. If you own your own thing, they can't fire you. But in the instance of Kanye West, what we saw was they can say, we don't want your money. The bank told Kanye West, come get your money out in 30 days, bro. Come get your money in 30 days. You could have these platforms that we all use, the Amazons. The folks at Spotify said, yo, we would take the music off if we could. Goodwill said, bro, we don't even want, so it's a eBay, we don't want to sell. eBay ain't gonna never say that. That's the tough part with that shit, man, is you can own your own, but you gotta have a pipeline, and that's how they get you, is that they know that even if you own your own brand, a guy like Kyrie Irving, right, especially in this instance, right, where folks want to stick up and stand up for him. If Kyrie Irving tomorrow said, yo, they suspended me for 5 games because they think I need the bread. I'm putting out a shirt. It's gonna be $20. Could y'all cop it? Just to show the power, right, of what's going on here. I think that right now he would have hundreds of thousands, I would say thousands of people who would tap in for this $20 shirt, right? Which would be an economic swing. However, what would happen is you would have the infrastructure then say, bro, he trying to sell a shirt on Shopify. How y'all gonna let Kanye? And then they would try to shut the shit down. That's the way it's looking like right now. Fellow truther, flat earther. Let me see. Love Kyrie, fellow truther, flat earther at watch movie level on YouTube. They tell us to shut up all the time. They are just dogging him. They know if him and his brothers play together, they're going to take this league to the next level. They talking about Gelo. If they really gave him a chance, but they can't make Lavar right. I do think. Let's finish bowling, doing 2 rounds of land. I do think that there is something to say about that, right? I think that if you can look at the landscape of YouTube right now and how many people don't want Lavar to be right. And so you could compare that to the actual media, and damn sure they don't want him to be right. Right? There are folks, what's going on here? Oh, dang. Engineer sent it to me. All right, I got you. Big as shit. Let me know if you can pull it from this mailing. All right, bet. Let me see something. All right. Let me see. Let me try to get my man on here real quick. I know he got some opinions on this. Load it. All right, bet. All right, cool. All right, so let me see if I get my man Flacco on here, because I know he gonna have some opinions on this shit, man. All right, bet. He said he gonna pull up. Let's do it. Let me see. All right, so let me get this straight. Let me send the link again to the chat. There we go. Ain't gonna work. Mm, mm, mm. All right, you got it. I know my man Flacco gonna have some. He gotta have some opinion on this stuff, man. He didn't talk to the all of the folks in these different spheres, and I know that they hella opinionated on it, man. If LaMelo don't sign back to Charlotte, I'm definitely not renewing my season tickets. Oh, bro, you probably wouldn't be the only one to make that move. I do think that I'm sure there's a few people out there who people would tap in to watch, but there's something about LaMelo and his journey that folks don't want to miss. And this is what I was saying earlier. All right, let me see. Oh, it did it. Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you at all.
All right, let me see. All right, my mic is off. Hello, you hear me now?
Wait. 1 second.
All right. Hello. Yeah, it's reading there. Speaker. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I can't hear you for some reason.
You can't hear me now?
Let me back up.
All right. Doom da 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 dum dum. Let me see that stereo. Let's switch it to this. That's what I always do. Oh, chat. Hello. All right. Here we go. Here's the thing that let me see. My man here. Let me pull this up. So my man say I'll definitely not signing, renewing my season tickets if they don't get LaMelo. Here's the thing that I keep saying that I feel like people do not want to hear or really come to terms with when it comes to LaMelo and that conversation. Most of us, right, really mess with LaMelo because of the mystique around his journey, right? That's where we all started watching here 5 years ago, right? We all started tapping in and following the journey, whether that's from the reality show, the JBA, from these different creators who really doubled down. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, I know why you can't hear me. There you go.
Yeah, perfect. I can hear you now. Yeah, perfect. I can hear you now.
All right, now I gotta figure out how to mute me. Oh, I know what's going on. I wasn't added to the thing. Hello. Is it this thing? Let me see something. Hello? There we go. Now it's better. You got me now?
I said it said Gelo Ball's first game. Yo, I haven't been tapped in.
Yo.
Is Gelo playing for the G League?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I can still hear you.
Man, am I doubling? Let me do that. Hello? Yeah. All right, I think it's... There we go. Can y'all hear me on the stream?
I think the stream... through like OBS. So like the chat is saying like the first way was sounding good.
Let me see now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, AB is going. Yeah, I can hear you, AB. You're going from out.
Hello. All right, there we go. All right, we good. Now, see what happened is I was trying to do something. I had two browsers open with the same stuff. And so I was trying to so I can maneuver it or whatever. Let me see. We good now.
You are going from out of StreamYard, so I can hear you.
I'm not in there. All right, let me see. All right, there we go. My bad.
All right, perfect, man. Yeah, man. Yo, well, first off, man, what's your take on Kyrie being suspended?
Yeah,
Yo, but they on some bullshit, man.
that's what we talking about now, man. It's a lot of bullshit going on with that, my guy. A lot of bullshit. My take is they did all of this stuff to make him apologize, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as he apologized, now they like, hell no, that ain't good enough. We need a little bit more. We need blood now, and so I think that they are. I think that they're creating a firestorm, right? I think that in their head they think like, oh, we about to go get Kyrie, and I feel like what's actually happening is that they're activating folks who probably would not have, you know what I mean? I feel like they activating people who would have stayed out of it, who would have just been like, yo, that dude Kyrie, you know what I mean? People already was critical of him over the vaccine stuff, the flat earth things, and now people realize, but wait a minute, bro, y'all might y'all on to something too crazy right now, so we got to step up and show up and show out for that. And so I think that they create a monster, and they might not even be aware of it.
Yo, nah, honestly, it made me just sit and think like, damn, bro, like, yo, like, again, like, I've never been somebody who would consider myself anti-Semitic or never been somebody who even thought twice about the Jewish people, bro, but, like, I've always stated, man, I can tell you who control you, bro, by who you can criticize. Like, I can tell you who can, like, you know, like, who controls you where, you know, like, and who you're scared of, and if it's gotten to a point now where every single thing is deemed anti-Semitic. Now, I understand a movie/book that he shared. Cool. If there was some fucked up shit in there, cool. But the artwork for that book, I actually looked at what Kyrie shared. And Kyrie shared an artwork that says Hebrew equals Negro, meaning that the Hebrews are black folks, right? So that was the essence of what he was trying to you know, to like get across, right? But he just used an artwork from a book that was fucked up. You feel me? Like, so, right? So, but I feel like they for sure understand the concept. Sorry, context. Like, they for sure understand what's going on, what Kyrie meant by that, but they're taking this route to kind of send a message to every other race of these motherfuckers right here, they are on this pedestal. And like, if you other motherfuckers think that your black ass can speak on them niggas, you got another thing coming, bro. And I'll be real. Like, there, I guess, consequences for Kyrie and other black athletes and black people, bro, that might be counterintuitive, bro, because again, I don't even, because I think that now black folks, we're getting kind of sick and tired of this shit, bro. Like, right, like, y'all ragdolled Buck broken Kanye, you feel me? Like, got him out of here, cool, all right, you know, we can probably, you know, say, all right, and like, now they're doing it to Kyrie, and as black folks, the black people who are just neutral, again, there are niggas who actually hate Jews. I don't know why, but the folks like us who are neutral, we're starting to say, "Hold up now, bro, what's going on here?" Yeah,
and that's what I was saying earlier. I think that it's alarming to the regular person, the person who just really like Kyrie because he hoop or whatnot, and then y'all trying to figure out, because I don't even think that most people really understand what the word anti-Semitic even means, right? I was watching this clip from ESPN or one of them basketball shows, and they had a rabbi on there who the rabbi had to pull out a dictionary and read what the most recent update of anti-Semitic means. And it just was anything like, if you say anything that could be perceived, I believe the word perceived was in there, to demean Jewish people, that's anti-Semitic. And so it ain't even like you got to say something hateful. Like we hear, it ain't like you got to say the N-word or, you know what I'm saying, like in reference to like black folks. There are things that you can say about black people, coons, all of this shit that we be like, yo, bro, now you crossed the line. You don't even got to go there with them. You just literally got to say something like along the lines of, y'all got way too much power. And you could be deemed as anti-Semitic. But we also got my man FYL Sports Debate in here, man. What's up, FYL?
I in the building, man. That's my guy, man.
What up? Hey, I saw your stream the other day. That was pretty smooth, poetic. And AB, you back live again. Salute.
Oh yeah,
But
we definitely got to do that.
I'm gonna say something that's controversial. This whole thing with Kyrie, like I understand, like okay, they asked him for an apology. He gave his version of an apology, and it's just like when you listen to the media talking to Kyrie, and I'm not even one to side with Kyrie a lot, but they sitting here saying, well, why can't you just say I'm sorry? Like why do they want him to say it the way they want it said? Like they want a specific sound bite from him just so they can blast a certain sound bite over and over and over. And when you really think about it, at the end of the day, black people can't be anti-Semitic, but it's not for the reasons that Kyrie said. It's because we don't even know what a Jew is in the sense that they're talking with anti-Semitism. Like you can go to any hood in America and walk up to a black person and be like, tell me an anti-Semitic joke. They'd be like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know it. No black person knows any Jewish jokes, any anti-Semitic jokes, or words that could be used to demean that community because we don't even know who they are. Yet you can go to all these other communities, Mexican, white, black, Italian, and you say, tell me a black person joke. They got jokes for days. All communities, they can run them off for days, and they do it behind the scenes. They do it behind the scenes. I've seen it. I've heard it. I know it. I know it happens. They know it happens. They try to deny it, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like y'all making a big deal about him mentioning a small section of some movie, which the part that he referenced had nothing to do with the rest of the documentary that they're talking about. He just mentioned one small expert out of this documentary. There were other portions in it that they consider anti-Semitic, and now they just want to demonize him and say he's. It's just like they being petty with this man. They being petty with him. It couldn't have, man. I could tell he was having a real hard time biting his tongue and be like, y'all just need to shut the fuck up and get out of my face because y'all sound dumb as hell bringing this anti-Semitic stuff to him. And ain't none of them stood up. Ain't none of the media personnel, ain't none of them really ever stood up for any black athlete like that. When LeBron James gets slandered or these athletes get slandered daily, like, you know, by the Candace Owenses and all these people, Tucker Carlson's, they don't say nothing. And so I'm not even trying to hear it, man. They just being petty with this man at this point. And it's sad, man. Like it's starting to. What they're doing is they're turning anti-Semitism into a joke because it's probably a real thing in some communities, but this is not anti-Semitism, and they're trying to turn it into some goofy joke, and now nobody's gonna take it serious no more because this is not what it is. It's sad, man.
Yeah. You know what's so funny though? The hard part is, I think you're speaking from it from a perspective of similar to what I was saying earlier. It's just like most black folk, the only real. I watched an episode of Atlanta, right? And there was y'all watched that show, Paperboy, Donald Glover, and all that stuff. And they took Paperboy to a lawyer. It was a black lawyer, and he was like, nah, man, I want a Jewish lawyer, man. Like, we doing it big time. Give me a Jewish agent, man. Give me a Jew. You know what I'm saying? And like, to me, that's the only real joke that black folks know about that community is like, if you get to Hollywood, go get you know what I mean? If you're doing real business, like that's who you should be getting with, right? Those are the people who broker things and all that stuff. And that's our perspective on it. And so it's crazy to me because truthfully, in most communities, that type of like perspective is a badge of honor. Like, we don't even understand why you would even not want to be the dude that when it comes to certain professions, people look to as the people in power. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people say if you want a running back, you got to get a black dude or a black corner, we don't be like, damn, bruh. Like, why all the running backs, you know what I mean, got to be a certain way. And so I think that they are creating a really weird dynamic, but I think it's also hard because you can see that you can take it as a joke if you want and not take it serious, and they get you up out of here really quick.
Damn, but they only do it with certain people. Like they picking and choosing. They doing it like they not gonna do it to Joe Smo. They don't care if Joe Smo on YouTube does it if you got 100,000 subs. They doing it to the Kanye's and the Kyrie's, right? I just heard whose broadcast was that? I just heard on Black TV he was interviewing Tony Yayo, and Tony Yayo said he was having a conversation, and he said there was like a clique of Jews who kind of ran some of the companies around him, and they had like a certain name for him. It was like Jewish Unit or something. I don't know what it was, but it's just like they picking and choosing because they could have easily took what Tony Yayo said and tried to do the same thing they did with Kyrie, but you can't really cancel Tony Yayo. Ain't nobody gonna care if you start saying he was anti-Semitic. It ain't going. But they only using Kyrie because it's an easy target and he's backed by the NBA, and they know that the NBA is gonna stand with the Jewish community and be like, you need to apologize. And the same with Kanye and Adidas and all these other companies. They don't really care. It wasn't anti-Semitic what he said or did. They just picking and choosing when to throw that term around. To me, it's kind of stupid, man.
Yeah.
It's a weak move, people. It's playing victims now. That's a weak
That
move.
kind of showed though, right now. That kind of shows the difference between them and us. Is that their people stick together. Like for example, man, like when let's say like the head of Nike is Jewish, when like he cancels you, JP Morgan is coming. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like Twitch is coming. The head of listen, they all rallying together to make sure your ass is canceled when like one of us gets done wrong. Man, shit, man, listen, man, like he should be playing like that, right? Like it's crazy, bro. Like we don't even, bro. Like we don't even like have the concept of or the idea of like maybe we should stick together. And I just say, damn, bro. Listen, man. Like, shit, nigga, you talking too much, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, truthfully, what I think it is, and I feel like this is something I picked up whenever we went overseas for a little bit, is like here we kind of in this place where like this is home, but we also detach from it, right? And then so we don't really feel unity here, right? But then like if the three of us, we could hate each other guts here. If the three of us went to Poland and it was just us, we would have a strong community, right? Even if I hated FYF and he was the only other black guy over there, we would have to put that shit to the side and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of these other communities that really stand tall here, they come from somewhere else, they come here and then they band together. We're here and we have been kind of programmed in a way, or like even our thought process, the way that we even listen to music and shit that we listen to, it like is programmed us to not really like each other like that. You know what I'm saying? I be hearing songs where black folks be talking about how much they hate black folks, and I don't have a problem killing black, you know what I mean, like just liking themselves to Nazis and shit as they talking about how they feel about other black people. And so I think that
said, Dave Loaf said, I really hate niggas, I'm a Nazi, love wearing all black when you see, right?
And
like,
niggas sung that like in the club, hype to it. Hey, hell yeah, me too. Love and it. Yeah. My man Montana 300 like said that shit like, and I remember because I was thinking like, damn, this nigga really don't like niggas. He was like, I hate niggas, I have no problem with killing one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was a video with millions and millions of views, and people was like championing the lyricism in that. And I think that's why we don't stick together like that, is because we just don't even see each other as one, where those folks they have a shared kind of story and then a shared displacement, and so they kind of like, you know what I mean, help each other out. But Yeah.
But AB, isn't that what I think? Us watching what they doing, they did it to Kanye when Kanye said he kind of exposed what they were doing. Now they're doing it to Kyrie. This is exactly what I think Kanye was talking about. How look, the owner, like the owner of Nike or the CEO of Nike, he might hate the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He might hate his guts. But as soon as one Jewish person of power says, I think that was anti-Semitic, it's irregardless of how any other Jew feels, they all saying, okay, well, you said it's anti-Semitic, we riding with you, and we're going to use our power to flex our muscles against whoever you said that against you. We'll figure it out later. If it was anti-Semitic or not, we'll hash that out later. But you said it was anti-Semitic right now, so right now we're going to go flex our muscles on whoever you think it did you wrong. And I think that's what's happening. I think Kanye was talking about how they have power with money and resources, and they recklessly, and what you see with Kyrie is, you see, and when you have the power, you can be reckless. When you have the money, you can be reckless, but they are using it. You flex your muscles with a like gang mentality. This is how gangs operate. Gangs will, right or wrong, like if you fighting a Crip, right or wrong, they all gonna jump you. Whether they're Crip, whoever you fight, he could be in the dead wrong, but they all gonna jump you. They'll hash it out later if he was in the right or the wrong. But they gonna jump you. They gonna take care of you. If they'll deal with the right or wrong later. I think that's what they're doing with Kyrie. They don't care about if it was right or wrong. They just jumping him. Everybody jumping him out because one person said it was anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and I think like I feel like there's a part of the community who is going to be like, oh shoot, they jumping Kyrie, we got to go help him out. But I don't think that we don't. But that's what I feel like there's a people who want to do that, but I don't think that people even know how to do that. I heard people talking about boycotting the NBA, right? And I'm watching G League game and I'm watching the NBA game and I'm reading on Twitter about boycotting the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like
basketball, nigga. Yo, bro. What's crazy, right? It's that Kyrie is, like Kyrie could go without, like for example, Kyrie like pretty much like turned down like 10 to 15 million, right? By just like sitting home, right? So like he could withstand that. But like it's a different type of ball game when Kyrie says, you know what, bro, I apologize. Bro, hey, yo, listen up, man. I take accountability. Because he knew, bro, like what was coming. And then after he came off his throne, right? Again, it's very strategic, right? So why I think they waited until Kyrie like took quote unquote responsibility and apologized in his own way. It's so now Kyrie could no longer be seen as a martyr, right? Meaning like if Kyrie says, you know what, bro, nah, man, I'm standing my square. I'm standing on a freaking principles. Y'all won't bully black folks no more. Now, guess what? Now he's now standing for something, and now like it's an actual division and actual war now. But once they waited, once Kyrie apologized, admitted fault, now it's like, okay, now let's get him, right? Because now he's standing for nothing, right? He said, yo, I took, man, bro, them people is smart, bro.
Yeah,
I was saying the same thing. I was talking to myself the other day. I was like, the one thing you can criticize Kyrie on is like with all these other situations, he stood on the square, right, with the vaccine mandate in the bubble. But in this situation, it's hard to get people to back you and support you when you will under pressure, man, and you drop that apology somewhere. It's just like, man, I mean, you can't jump out there and make these comments and then under a little bit of pressure, because it was very little pressure. That little media guy talking to him was not nothing. I mean, I don't know, man.
I'd imagine that there was some pressure behind the scenes because remember they came out that he was going to give $500,000 to the ADL or something like that, and so they had the people sitting courtside. I'm sure the Nike people was on his neck. Adam Silver made a statement about how he was going to talk to Kyrie here in a little bit. He wanted a whole apology and he was going to get on his neck. Like I feel like people was coming at him from a lot of different ways, and I could tell that like the power structure was escalating of who was coming at him. You know what I mean? It started as just like these media folks and like some internet Twitter beef, and then all of a sudden they start looping in the big dogs. But I really think it's like I remember I watched this clip from Russell Simmons with the Kanye West situation, and Russell Simmons, he spoke out or was trying to give Kanye some game, or you know what I mean. It was like, yo, Kanye, you said some crazy stuff, but like we need to, let's talk. Like you should do X, Y, and Z. And then he got back on and was like, yo, one of my really powerful friends in that community just called me and was like, yo, why you helping Kanye right now? Like, and he alluded to the fact that people were coming at him for even siding with Kanye a little bit, even trying to give him some sauce, even trying to teach him or doing some things. They just wanted him like, you know what I mean, hung out to dry. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he was feeling those different types of levels of calls coming in from folks, and that's why he had to, like, you know what I'm saying, let me just say, all right, I understand you done put somebody's grandson on here with me, let me go ahead and apologize.
Do you think this question is for both of y'all, do y'all believe that Adam Silver and all these big organizations like Nike, do y'all think these Adam Silver and Nike and all these big organizations care at all about this if the Jewish community didn't have so much power and influence?
I think somebody told me, I believe Adam Silver is Jewish.
Yes, sir.
Which is like,
whatever it's called, yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, saying, is this a big deal? Because we've seen NFL players, we've seen white NFL players get caught saying the N-word, all types of stuff, and we ain't seen this much fanfare. I don't remember them ever making these white athletes who got caught saying the wrong thing at the wrong time get up and you have to say an apology the right way 1,000 times over. I didn't see them losing a gang of endorsements, contracts, getting suspended. I don't remember this because remember, there's no power structure calling the NFL or the NBA saying, hold on, you need to check these dudes. You need to suspend some people, right? Or otherwise, we pull in business from certain places. There was no calls like that. But Adam Silver getting them calls. You got to say something. Nike, we got to suspend this contract. It's a reason why that's happening because we've seen this happen with other athletes against the black.
Yeah, man.
That is a fact.
Like I said, it's power. It's what Kanye said. They just flexing their muscles with money and power. And for interviewing Kanye, trying to really act like this idea of the Jewish community having power is fake. I'm like, come on, man. Are we not?
Hold on a second, man. I lost the StreamYard acting stupid right now.
Hey, what's up, Nico?
What's up, FYF? I just want to say to piggyback off what you're saying. The thing is, when you control the narrative, it is so many gullible people in the world, and we do have to have these voices like you speak up and talk about it. Because the thing is, now that a black man is dealing with it, you know he ain't about to get much help, not even from his own culture in a lot of these situations. They're going through this situation and trying to put every narrative that paints him in the worst light when all he's doing is sharing some level of truth. And I'll add this into there real quick. When it comes to, let's say, a Kyrie, they're battling a lot of the secret society powers, what I'll call them. And we know that a lot of that secret society power is held by the Jewish community, and let's even add the Asian community in there. We know when it was any small sentiment of quote unquote Asian hate, right? They got a crime bill passed within the same year of anything negative being directed toward their culture, because they have a lot of power behind the scenes. And we're now experiencing this with our culture, mainly because of Ye and Kyrie speaking up. And I don't think we have enough behind the scenes power or people willing to put themselves out there to actually back these guys. I don't know how it's going to go, man.
Yeah. I just don't know who. I feel like our culture, we have people in power, right? But if you think about, we just had Kanye, who was touting himself as the richest black man ever. And then within days, they stripped that away from him. And it was like, you're not even a billionaire no more, right? So I think that our power is in our numbers, but I don't even know how we could galvanize those numbers to actually like do something, right? Because if it's a money thing, right? Let's think about if they taking, somebody put in the chat here, 2.7 million, 2.2 million away from from Kyrie with the Nike deal. If Kyrie said, yo, let's show him the power, everybody give me $1, niggas would be like, damn, bro, you want $1? You already rich. You richer than all us. You want us? You supposed to give us money. Like we wouldn't support that, right? If he needed like a place to stay or something, we'd be like, bro, you got the couch. If he wanted, you know what I mean? If he wanted to try to GoFundMe or some infrastructure, start a company, we would second guess all of that and wouldn't be able to do that, right? Whereas you look at some of these instances where, what's the boy who was up in Milwaukee, shot these people, and the internet, they had a GoFundMe and was damn near giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars just because people was on his head, right? We see that all of the time in these other communities where financially people will put their money up to make a statement. Yeah, Rittenhouse, yeah. He got so much bread for nothing, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even ask for it. They just gave him money just because they didn't like the way that people was doing him, right? You saw it in all of these situations. They do that. We necessarily wouldn't do that. We wouldn't support like that. So I don't know how else we would support. We would, you know what I mean? Kyrie would have to have some type of product, and we would support the product more so than we would just support him individually.
You know, AB, you know, I think this ties back to what LaVar Ball was always intending to do with his brand. Why he was so adamant about them not signing with Nike or even Puma is because of situations like this. Like, out of all the crazy things LaVar Ball has said, the one thing that nobody's been successfully able to do with him is cancel him, because he literally owns everything that he operates. He's not signing no partnerships and deals with other people. He owns and runs everything, so you can't cancel the man. And I think that was the whole, I think that's what he was trying to push on his boys. And I think maybe he kind of got lost with LaMelo a little bit, but maybe this situation might open his eyes, and also to a lot of other athletes that are signed under Nike and these companies, because these guys are coming into the NBA with humongous social platforms. And if people like LaVar Ball can convince them that you can make more money just pushing it yourself with your social following, and you can have your own brand and they can't control you, they can't threaten to pull your shoes off your shelf like they're doing with Kyrie. I mean, Nike is putting themselves in a real funny situation, because this is the wrong era. This is the wrong day and age to try to make a point with Kyrie when all these athletes could easily leave. If LeBron leaves Nike, he can create his own shoe and post it on IG and make just as much money.
Facts.
Like, they need to be careful, because when you choose size, this is the wrong day and age to do that. So, I mean, these companies, you know, they're strong now, but they gotta be mindful of what they're doing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you.
I want to ask you, AB and FYI this: are we getting to a point of realizing that money might mean a lot more in our culture than any serious situation like this? Because the money is being disrupted, so a lot of these dudes are either hushing or trying to really, putting themselves in this. Like I seen, I don't know if it was on NBA Today, whatever show it was, where they had the, Jewish man. He said a Jewish kid told him that, he wears Kyrie's shoes, and it's sad that he thinks like this. Like, what the hell is Kyrie saying? Like they're pushing the narrative as if we're really attacking them.
I wish I was sitting there on that show. Because the first thing I would have been like was, what kid is even talking to an adult like that? One, I'm around college students and young people all day. The last thing they is walking up to me is saying, man, I'm so disappointed in what Kyrie said. I don't want to wear his shoes. What type of weird kids are, like you can't come up with these stories and you bring these sad, victimized stories. For one, that was a lie. I wish I could talk to that guy in person, because I would tell him to his face, you're lying, and you're just making up a sob story for the cameras. But see, they was all on ESPN saying, can you teach us about this stuff? And I'm like, there's nothing to teach.
Yeah.
Black people generally are not anti-Semitic, because we don't even know what a Jewish person even looks like. We can't differentiate between a regular white person and a Jewish person for the most part.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. But you can differentiate between a black person and a white person, or, so they need to stop with this victim stuff, because really that's your religion. And I think the Islamic faith is more demonized by this society than anybody.
Dun, dun,
right?
dun.
They're more demonized than anybody, but ain't nobody, they're not running around playing victim mode and all this stuff. But the reason why is because that community doesn't have they don't have all the money and the power to push it. I guarantee you, if they were in the same position, they would be able to push their own narrative and get people to step back from slandering their religion so much. But it's sad what they're doing. They come up with these fake stories. They bringing them on ESPN like they real credible. They wearing the little thing on their head. Man. Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it.
Here's what I'll tell you too is I thought it was funny because I'm pretty sure he said he got it in an email too. He was like, a fourth grader sent me an email with this story, and I was like, bro, come on, my guy.
Fourth grader saying, if you start talking to a fourth grader, he'd be like, all right, bump that. Let's play Fortnite. That's what a fourth grader talking about. Fourth grader not talking about fourth graders don't care. These kids are not falling for these games. It's only the grown adults running around saying it, acting like they're speaking for everybody. It's sad.
Hey, you trying to tell me?
They making themselves look weak.
I would say this: if a fourth grader did say that, it's because he heard it from an adult. An adult gave him that message, that information, told him about the fourth grader didn't watch the Kyrie the documentary at all. You know what I mean? Didn't pay for it, didn't find the link to it, didn't go on Amazon, none of that. Somebody said this to him and let him know that this happened in order to like get a reaction out of him, if that is a real life true story. But I think it's hard to say that that's a real one. But
it all to me looked like a fake spectacle put on by ESPN because a Jewish person at the top told them to do so. That's why it looked like a fake joke spectacle where you had one rabbi sitting there surrounded by mostly black analysts asking questions about, can you please educate us on it? No black person cares about it because black people are not anti-Semitic towards Jews because we don't even know what Jews are, who they are, how to even identify them. We don't care. Yeah. That's what they trying to make themselves relevant to us when our community just don't care what your religious faith is. We look at you like you're a white person, just like any other white person. That's what you are to us. You know, like the Italians, like the Russians, the Jews, all of them are white. They're no anti-Semitic. Can anybody on this panel here say one anti-Semitic slang or joke? I don't know any. I don't know any. I never heard a black person say it. They trying to make it seem like this is what we talk about in the hood. Come on, man, stop it.
I'll say this, FYF, to also add that the problem with a lot of our people are we're accepting of everything. We're accepting of everyone. We try to make friends with everybody. And a lot of these guys that are speaking against Kyrie are guys with friends of a Jewish community. And the thing is, they're being so clouded and so pushed by a narrative that they're not even going deeper into seeing what's actually happening. They don't even know that he's speaking up for them. They're just going with the Kyrie says something anti-Semitic, and same with Ye right now. And they're just pushing back against that, trying to be the black guy on the other side or the black woman on the other side that quote unquote wants to understand. And it's just making us look weak, no unity, and it's making our people trying to actually do something for us look bad. Because when you got the people who are on a lower level pushing against the people at the top, it makes us look like it's a fragile, shaky bottom.
Yeah,
and they don't have that in their community.
It's the same thing, bro. Somebody had a clip where I forgot what it was. I saw somebody sent it to me over on Instagram where it was just talking about anytime there's a black dude standing up or getting like tore down, there's another black dude standing behind them ready to, like, you know what I'm saying, shuck and jive and take that spot over. And so I think it is a lot about the money, right? Folks just looking for their opportunity to become the next one, right? So you see it across most entertainment things where you see it in comedy, right? Comedians talk about it all the time where there's one black comedian who everybody knows and love until his time is up, and then there's another one that folks replace him with until their time is up, and then so folks just trying to find their spot in line instead of realizing that you don't really have to do that, and you could come over here and create your own thing and live pretty damn good off of it. And I think that the hard part, though, is, and I was going to mention this earlier when my man FYF was talking about if LeBron and them took their thing and started to create their own shoes and products. Here's something that I've heard from some folks who, like, you know what I mean, who have attempted to do that. Is there is a bit of a hurdle because these corporations even spend so much money over in these areas where these factories are that they will put you on a list of like, yo, here are people you can't work with. Like, even if you got the money, they won't mess with you because it messes up the other bag. And so that's just like another level of power and control that they have, where when you try to go independent and do your own thing, that people won't mess with you because other folks have kind of put the list together and what you can't be on that list. So then you got to go deeper and try to find somebody else. But then happens is now you need somebody who is ingrained in that culture. You got to trust them. You got to do a whole nother thing. So it's like layers and levels to this, where in order for it to really work, you have to build partnerships with other people who don't look like you, talk like you, and all of that stuff. But like, it's hard because if you're not the person who's pulling the strings and all that stuff, I mean, at any moment they can get you up out of here. But we also got my man Flight Sports who just joined here, man. What's up, Flight?
What up, Flight? What's good, AB?
What's happening, man? We everybody weighing in on this Kanye. Damn, I got Kanye and Kyrie tongue tied all evening, but this Kyrie Irving situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, you know, when you think about the whole situation, you know, because I've never even seen a movie or documentary, whatever got posted. I never watched it.
Nobody watched it.
Yeah,
Nobody watched it.
I understand where he's coming from. You know, it's kind of wild. You know, I even have some content, but I just never really cooked it up, bro. You know, I see like Kyrie, he messed with like Ben X and like 19 Keys. I don't know if people familiar with these guys. You know, I mean, I kind of like listen to some of this stuff too, you know, and they be spitting some good shit, you know, like in terms of like trying to maneuver and things of that nature. So I just feel like it's in a positive way, but I mean, it's just being kind of the way I guess it's being portrayed. It's kind of a tough situation because it's wild political. You know, so it's kind of it's like almost like whatever you say is like it's wild. But they could always twist this shit. So it's like the more he explained it, it's like the more bad it sounded. You know, so it's almost like the best to just get this shit out the way. Or shit, more and more shit is happening.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about it is, this is what they doing with Kyrie and Kanye, and they did this really with Kanye. Like the first thing that the Jewish community did was they was really coercing a lot of people with interviews and videos up where he was specifically talking about some of the things that they basically said take it down. And that was the biggest red flag to me, because when the media thinks you are a fool and you saying stuff that's gonna make you look like a fool, they will gladly show it. Like when we saw most recently this dude Daryl Brooks trying to represent himself right after running over people in a parade. They had that on TV every day of the trial just so he could sit up there and make himself look like a fool to the world. They will present you to the world if you're really saying and doing foolish stuff. The red flag to me was that why is everybody taking their interviews down? Why is everybody taking these conversations down? What is it? Because now it's hard for me to even see what Kanye said, for me to even judge it. And the same thing with Kyrie. What's the name of this movie? Where's this book at? I want to know now. Yeah, but why are they trying to quiet? They're trying to quiet Kanye and Kyrie for a certain reason, and that's my red flag. Why are they trying to silence them? But anybody else that's out there making themselves look like a fool, they put a big microphone in front of them. Keep talking. You know, that's the question mark for me. So that's why I say it might be some truth to what they're saying.
Yes, it's all control of narrative, right? You know, they had just the Patriots just put out an ad. It was like stand up against Jew or something, and they posted it on YouTube. And I went through the comment section. It was like Kanye's right, Kyrie's right. The whole comment section is just in support of these guys. They turned the comments off the video literally the next day. Anything that is speaking truthful against them or could paint them in any not light that they don't want, they're cutting off all conversation and saying you're against them instead of talking truth. That is a problem. They won't even have the conversation. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I just saw something on Twitter where they was saying like the NBA game was going. They cut the commercial, came back, and then had Jalen Rose on here apologizing for something that he said, and then cut back to commercial. So they got his apology right here. I'm gonna see if I can play it. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
I'm Jalen Rose, and I would like.
Can y'all hear that?
No, I can't hear that.
Let me see.
I'm Jalen Rose, and I would like to apologize for a comment I made earlier on NBA Countdown. I question why a woman's name who had an alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public. After an internal investigation, and it was discovered.
Oh, he apologizing for the Ime Udoka situation.
I now understand fully why her name should not be released to the public.
Oh yeah, all right, I see. I thought it was something else, but he I guess he was talking earlier and then mentioned that he was talking about the Ime Udoka situation and why he was questioning why the lady name never came out. And then for some reason they made him to do a national apology for it.
Yeah, that's a joke right
That's a pretty valid question, by the way.
That's a joke. Yeah, that's an extremely valid question.
Yeah, but they in his apology he was saying you could tell somebody wrote him up a message and he reading that shit straight off the teleprompter. It is kind of like it's a wild like image. It looked like it's a hostage video for sure. But the message that he was saying is that he found out that she was a subordinate to him, and because of that, now he understands why her name was never released and why he shouldn't even ask that question in the first place. Thank you. Goodbye.
My homie, I don't know if y'all know him. He used to play for the Celtics. His name is Carson Edwards.
Yes, he actually was nice.
He told me the version of the story from one of the players, and I ain't heard ESPN talk about it at all. I'm like, if you know this, I know for a fact ESPN and all the media outlets know. But the version that he told me is completely different from what the media is saying. Now, Udoka is wrong. But the version of the story that he told me sheds a whole nother light on it. That's just like, okay, all right. And some may because the version of the story he told me, we need to know what her name is based on what he told me.
Yeah. Can we hear the version of the story that you
You
heard?
want to get some
Yeah, I know.
So
Let
check this
us
out.
know. Yeah.
This is look, and I'll tell you, this is verbatim from a guy that used to play for the Celtics. So basically, it all started. This all got kicked off by the. Remember, everybody probably saw the reports. This part was accurate, where she got caught on the Ring doorbell cam talking to Udoka, right? I think most people heard that part. That got out publicly. So what happened after that is the husband confronted her, and he confronted her and was like, "Okay, what's going on?" And so from that point forward, she lied. She was like, "He been harassing me ever since he got hired. He been stalking me." Remember, there was like the allegations on ESPN that he was kind of like stalking her or giving her unwanted comments.
Yeah.
Right. That was like a very small version of something that snippet that got leaked out, but that came from where at the very beginning of this, when she was confronted, she told her husband that the dude that Udoka was stalking her and just wouldn't leave her alone and kept calling, harassing her. And she never fessed up to any affair. So the husband went to the organization and was like, "Hold on, the head coach is literally harassing my wife. Y'all need to do something about it." And so this is why the Celtics did the investigation with the legal firm, because they said, okay, if we're going to fire or take any actions against our head coach, we need to get a private investigator to look into this. And so this is when the law firm and the private investigation team, they did their due diligence. They looked into it. So it kind of backfired on her because they going to go through everything. She had already deleted stuff out of her phone. Udoka didn't delete anything. So they had the footprints and the details to really piece some things together. And that legal team, they're the ones that came back to the Celtics and said, well, based on what we found, there was an affair going on and it was consensual. Like, as wrong as Udoka was, it was consensual. What she said is a lie. She was not getting harassed. She wasn't getting, chased or stalked. This was all consensual after their investigation. And so now the husband knows what's really going on, and the Celtics were going to handle it internally. The reason why he got released publicly is because the husband was all disgruntled and butthurt. Obviously, he just found out his wife was getting ran through. He's shamed. He's embarrassed. So he's basically threatening the organization. I'm taking this story to every media outlet or that I can find if you don't fire or some punishment is handed down, because this is wrong. And so the Celtics was like, well, before you make it messy, we just gonna tell the world ourselves what happened. And so they came out with a very, very dumbed down and watered down version of what happened, which is what we got, which is why when they first talked about it, everybody was asking questions, digging for more information. They were extremely vague about a lot of details. But this is one of the reasons why. And because a lot of people wonder, why did they get a law firm and all this stuff to investigate? That's why, because she made it messy and her husband made it messier. And that's what forced the Celtics' hand as far as bringing it out public. So when Stephen A is saying this should have been a private matter, it really wasn't in their control. It was going to be public, whether they wanted to or not. It could have become public the messy way with the husband, or the Celtic way by them just beating him to the punch, saying, "Okay, we'll just put it out ourselves. Now you look stupid." So that's what really happened. She made some allegations against him that weren't true, and that's what made this whole situation messy right here. Mm-hmm. And so he was I think he's like a VP of something. He's not like the VP of the Celtics. He's like the VP of like marketing or something like that. But yeah, that's what happened right there. She got caught. She tried to lie. They hired a law firm, found out the truth, told the husband the truth. He's still butthurt. And that's basically what happened. Disgruntled.
I believe that because I I was talking to some guys who I know who played in the league, and they were like, "Yo, that type of shit happen all the time." Like, infidelity is part of what's happening in the NBA, right? You got pro athletes; they things be all over the place, and they were saying that, like, the thing that people don't even think about or realize is that if Udoka had two, because I felt like it was two people he was having relationships with, right? In Boston, they were saying like, yo, he played for the Spurs for a long time, been all over the place in the NBA, or coach at the Spurs, I believe. And then so they were like, yo, he probably got women all over the country. Those just the ones he got caught with, you know what I'm saying? So like, the whole, I don't know, that the circumstance that they was trying to portray, they were saying like, yo, is something else is going on, it got to be worse than whatever they saying, because it is that shit happens all the time.
And that's why I believe that a lot of the people, especially the women, know exactly what happened. And this is why the women usually are the first ones to be like, okay, why are you asking about her? Why you asking about her name? They know it's not going to look good for women if they have another case, another story where the woman is found to be a liar. Remember, the Deshaun Watson situation really hurt some of their credibility when you had two grand juries out of all the 9 cases brought to them from 9 different women. They said we can't press no charges in 2 different counties. You got 9 women, 9 cases. Grand jury found no evidence to pursue charges in none of them. So now you got to go chase civil action where it's a lower preponderance of evidence. So it's like y'all credibility starting to look shaky. Now you hiding stuff. You're not disclosing the truth when things come out. Like ESPN didn't talk about when the NBA found out that one of the women in the Deshaun Watson case, her son came forward and told the NBA, hold on, my mom said she was going to break me off some money if I lied for her. But she was cool with Deshaun Watson. But see, where's that story at? Like, you would think that would be a big deal. And that story didn't come out. And that was with the NBA. So it's crazy what they tell us and what they don't tell us.
Yeah.
And Josh Primo is next. It's another situation where
yes,
I don't believe what this woman is saying. When I look at her, when I look at him and the women that he has access to, it don't add up. No.
I don't know. I think his shit to me is hard because, no pun intended, but because he sound like he got some type of like issue, you know what I'm saying? Like his thing felt like it, you know. I don't know, I didn't dig into that deeper or whatever, but they were making it seem like he had like some type of like I don't know, like kink or some shit where he was just doing that. You know what I mean? Like he was going to see a therapist because that was one of his issues.
Exactly, and that's remember that was the first narrative they tried to push with Josh Primo, is that there was a mental thing going on. They try to make some credibility to that's not why he was going to see her, and that's the problem. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I did some research into it. I'm gonna be doing a show about it, but it ain't adding up either. That ain't adding up either.
I will say too, that's the shit I see with the media. I like learn to not trust whatever they got saying, especially when it's obvious there's an obvious agenda behind it, right? If I can tell you doing a hit piece, I know that the majority of what you're saying is you're saying it from a perspective that gets your point across, right? You're not giving me the full information. You want me to walk away from here with a certain idea in mind once it's over, and then so I know that, you know what I mean, to take what you're saying for a grain of salt. So
I mean, the thing is, hey, do you have intelligence, right? You move with the understanding of someone is innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit there and take a narrative and then completely, which is what they do, by the way. They hear something, completely slander, slay you, destroy you in a moment. And then when you do become, whether it's free or guilty of things, either it continues or they just leave it alone. They don't even give you the retribution you deserve when you are not guilty of these things. Like Josh Primo is gonna have this stain whether he's guilty or not for the rest of his career. And if he's not guilty, it's like they're really coming up. And even with Udoka, right? Like, come on now, for something that we already know that pathetic ass female was out there doing shit behind her man back and just tried to, tidy it up, make it look good, and comes out to be consensual still, right? But Udoka is still gonna have to carry that with him. Meanwhile, her life will potentially, well, not with her husband at least, but the narrative surrounding her will return back to normal.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate about these athletes and what they're going through. Like Deshaun Watson will always be seen as a weirdo, creepy nigga for the rest of his fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They putting these stains on us, and you can't get them off once it's put on you.
I think what's so interesting, and I think about this by myself, is I know the allegations on Deshaun Watson, right? But until you just said that, like, I didn't even think about, like, you know what I mean? Like that he was going to carry that badge for a while, right? In my head, he going to have his process. Either not, he going to get a penalty for it. He going to do such and such. And then he's going to learn from that and then move on in my head, right? And especially because I think whatever he has been accused of, to me, feels like something that like, obviously he got it was doing it at excess, but I feel like that the ideal of, like, I'm trying to get a massage and then maybe get a happy ending on the end of it, to me feels like something that was a bit normalized in culture a little bit in certain areas. So, like, the fact that they making it seem like, yo, he just wild, creepy ass dude, like, is a little weird when I know that, like, most of these dudes who billionaires and such and all of this stuff probably act in similar ways and engage in different areas of BS.
Yeah. Like in one of the situations with Deshaun Watson, when you read the deposition, and I read it on my channel, it was one lady who, she works in a massage parlor. She has a business space where she works. But with Deshaun Watson, he books a hotel room, and they're going to do it in a hotel. They're going to do the massage in a hotel room. Now, that to me sounds like two grown adults walking into a hotel room and know exactly what's going to happen once they get in there. Because if you wanted to just to keep it strictly business, you're going to have them come into the massage parlor. You're going to have them lay down on the table in the massage parlor, and you're going to do it right then and there. You're not going to go book a hotel room at the Ritz-Carlton to do the same thing you're going to do in your place of business. That don't make sense. And this is a common thing in a lot of those cases with the women that nobody wants to talk about. And it's weird to me. But I mean, like I said, the media just push certain narratives and details, and they force feed people what they want them to know, and people run with it.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this: the thing is, right? Just to touch on Deshaun, man, I don't know if people are ready to see how many SJWs are buying tickets just to wear something or promote something that continues to push a narrative of him being the worst human being on earth. It's gonna happen. It's coming up soon, right? Like, literally, we have to prepare to see that, because I don't see any differently. It might have been some weird shit here and there, but you kind of understand shit when you have lived long enough and know how things really work. But they're gonna push this narrative. There's so many minds that don't tap into this world that paints him a bad way. I just hope that he can be safe at that point. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have people really thinking the worst of this man. And that's what they don't think about, how much negative can come his way outside of that. And he's really a decent dude, bro.
And it's a media narrative, because it's all about slander and Deshaun Watson, because there was no backlash given to the detectives or the courts or the grand juries that decided there was no evidence to charge him with any crimes. There was no vitriol thrown their way. They just disregarded. Like, nobody even asked, why did you guys not charge? Was it not enough evidence? Did they lie? Were there conflicting stories? Everybody just dismissed that. Nobody cares about the details as to what happened there. It was just a narrative that's being pushed by the media to tear down Deshaun Watson and make him look like a predator in the media. And that's what they successfully were able to do. So,
and they put that kind of effort into tearing him down, right? They're not going to put an inch of effort into building him back up.
Nope.
Yeah.
This shit getting sick.
Yeah. That's the thing they never do. The build up and the my bad. Let us straighten you back out, man. They don't do that. You gotta go get that back in blood for most of these folks. So
they about to win the Super Bowl. A couple of them.
I feel like that is
at least 3 wins out there.
Yeah, that's the funny shit about sports or entertainment or whatever is like. You just need another platinum album. You know what I'm saying? You got to go win, throw a couple touchdowns, win an MVP, and then folks forgive you. You know what I'm saying? And until something like crazy happen, like you pass away, then there'll be a few people who will pull up and be like, "Yo, remember that one time he made a mistake," and all that jazz.
Like old girl did with Kobe.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man.
And then and then change his whole life, and you bringing that back up. So,
and literally, right now with the soft narrative they have again around anti-Semitism, right? It's gonna be a badge on Kyrie too. Like, there's so many people talking about, oh, you know, Kyrie comes with baggage, this and that. What the fuck is Kyrie doing? What did he say? Like, let me hear something that really is like some crazy baggage. I understand not wanting to get, you know, vaccinated at the time and shit like that. Okay, well, that's what the fuck ever. Now they still trying to add this on to him, and he's problematic. He's this, he's that. Kyrie really is just playing basketball and sharing some opinions here and there.
Yeah.
But the narrative is always going to be around him that he's more of a problem than what he's worth. He gonna have to play his ass off just to keep his fucking job.
Yeah,
that's insane, man.
Yep. Shoot, if they, I feel like they trying to set Kyrie up to just try to figure out a way to get him up all the way out of the paint, and if he could. I don't know. I could imagine a scenario in which the Nets or something be like, bro, don't even come back. And you sit out the rest of the season. Then next year they try to pull the baggage thing, and then he don't even trying to not even give him an opportunity to make his way back into the league. But I don't know.
Carmelo shit.
Yeah,
nah, he gonna be back in the league. He definitely. There ain't no. Because it's going to be some owner be like, bump what y'all talking about. That's still Kyrie. You know what I mean? But, I mean, it's the smear campaign. What they're doing is forever going to affect him financially. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing. Going forward, if he plays in the NBA, new contracts, endorsements, it's going to affect that. And so they've hit him in a way that's going to hurt his ability to create generational wealth. That's what they made sure to do. Yeah. And that's what they're trying to do with Kanye. They don't really care about anything that Kanye says, because Hebrew Israelites will have channels saying the same thing Kanye says times 50 million. Mm-hmm. But they don't care about a Hebrew Israelite, because those guys aren't making money that could be considered generational wealth. And I guarantee you, if they were, they would find a way to try to silence them or slander them, just like they did with Andrew Tate. People wouldn't care. There's a million Andrew Tates on YouTube. Andrew Tate is only getting targeted because he has the money, and he's generating money that could be considered generational wealth. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, all you got to do is look at the people that they targeted, and there's a common theme there. These are people who are African American and have had a lot of financial success.
And Andrew
Tate, go after their money. All of them. Look at Kanye and Andrew Tate. Both of their bank accounts shut down.
I was gonna say with Tate though. The thing is, what people don't really consider half the time is he is half black.
Yeah, he is.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, people forget that, because you know he got the crazy mixed up accent, and he's in Romania now. But the thing is, He's half black. He has roots that we understand. And the thing is, us as university was making so much money, but he also was still keeping it pure and telling people the truth. They had to wipe that man off. He just got back on Twitter, literally recently.
Here's my question to y'all, right? With this attack on these folks, the Kanye's and the Kyries, and when you brought up Andrew Tate, right? I was thinking about how he got kicked off all of these platforms, but then, you know what I mean, went over to what's this, Parler or something, like a different platform that he on, and just movement. Russell Simmons was telling Kanye to come over to Bali or something like that. What is and I think towards what we were talking about earlier is like the unintentional consequence of this thing happening is that I think that it will also force black folks to partner up with people who will help us out because they actually despise certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw the least likely people supporting Kanye West. They had the pictures of him up in LA with signs saying Kanye was right and all of that stuff. Like, can y'all see things going that way, right? Where the Kanye West of the world have to then double down with these far left, far right groups who just like, who really don't like people, you know what I'm saying, and that being a negative consequence.
I think when you look at it like this, I think what's happening is, I think them trying to claim that Kanye and Kyrie are anti-Semitic, it's serving its purpose for that community now. But I think it's going to severely blow up in their face and hurt them in the long run. And what I mean by the fact is, for example, with Kanye, right? You think about Adidas. Nobody was really buying or wearing Adidas until Kanye brought the name the Yeezy over there. Now that they've eliminated that from their brand, there's literally no shoe that Adidas owns that the black community is just going to go into the store and buy. So it's and if Kanye, because I think Kanye still owns his namesake or whatever, something he owns with that brand.
He owns Yeezy.
He takes it. Yeah, if he takes that name,
and his wife
if he takes that name and he goes to a vendor or distributor in China and they just start making their own Yeezy stuff, they just created a monster that's now in direct competition with Adidas. And it's the same thing with Kyrie. I mean, maybe not as big as Yeezys, but the Kyrie shoes, Kyrie's already been complaining about Nike not doing a good job with designing his shoes. There is a cult following for Kyrie's basketball shoes, albeit small. But if he does the same thing, what you're going to do is you're going to start creating these little monsters where you're going to have a player test the waters, or you're going to have an entertainer test the waters. Because just like with me in my life, I got fired from a hardware store where I thought I made it. But me getting fired is what put me in a situation where I had to go start my own business. Right. So they created a monster now. Mm-hmm. So that's one monster created because they fired me unjustly. And so I think they're going to start creating these little monsters, and it's going to end up blowing in their face in the long run.
What really happened? Yeah. What really happened at the hardware store, FYI?
Oh no! What happened was at the hardware store. Basically, it's crazy. It was my fault. It was so basically they promoted me to be a department manager, and so now I'm a manager in the store. I can clock people in, sign them in. So there was a guy that worked in another department. He came in. He was like, "Man, I forgot to clock in. Can you sign me in so I'm not late?" Like, so what happened was I was like, "I got you." I was like, so I signed him in, and then HR went and go check the cameras and said, "Hold on, he was late." Every time, you're not supposed to clock people in on time without checking with us first. So they basically, with me, all of a sudden, they want to go check the cameras when I sign somebody in, but people been getting signed in all the time. So well, for me, they want to go check the cameras, and is it legit? They end up saying, "You falsified company records, you got to get fired." And I'm like, damn. I was like, that's weak right there. So, but they put me in a situation where like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna start doing my own. I'm gonna create my own.
Well, have you guys seen Charleston White's comments on Kanye?
Not yet. Nah.
Okay.
I need to double back. I've been checking some of his stuff out. Just because I think like he is one of them dudes with a strong opinion. And he just got like he got one of them interesting ways to say things that should. Like he says stuff that like you want to be like, wait a minute, bro, you can't say that, but it makes so much sense in a way that you gotta like keep listening.
Yeah, and so it's a little short. If you find it, it's just a little minute. You know, it catches you up to speed. He was basically saying, you know, the Jewish people make all their money off of us. He said, put them versus us, we'll come out on top because we the ones that really generate the money. But we don't honestly have to be against them like that, but they trying to push us in that light to make it seem like we're against them. We're not. We're coming in the most humble, honest way possible. I mean, Kanye was a little fiery with it, but he also gave a lot of context to the things that he said that were fiery. So it wasn't like he was just on some pure fuck you shit. He gave an honest, genuine feeling of why he says this and broke it down. But they're painting it as if, oh, it's just this is anti this. No, it's not. But in reality, we could. And that's why we have to have the unity. I think Kanye had mentioned if they say don't mess with someone, they get cut off. If we say don't mess with someone, it's division within the culture of who to mess with, who not to. We need to really have some people come together, make some shit, and really make it powerful. Because if not, I don't see this going good for us. I'm keeping it real with you. Even though we do make all the money, but there's no unity in the money.
Well, what we need to do, though, to be honest, we just need to do what they do. We just need to ride with every black person, right or wrong, and we need to just like everybody got behind George Floyd, just like when one of these cops shoot one of us, boy, I'm talking about, man, I see so much unity as far as getting these dudes charged and convicted. Every time something happens, if you had the whole black community standing behind Kyrie and Kanye, right or wrong, we'll discuss that bullshit later. But for right now, he right, and we gonna stand behind him. If we started to do that and start flexing our muscle using our numbers versus their dollars and cents, then that could be an equalizer. Oh. But that again takes a level of thinking, and that you got to put a lot of people on the same page. And I think there's an ego in the black community that's going to always prevent that from happening.
And you know what? I'll say, I think that part of what's hard to do that is the things that we care about are things that people tell us we should care about. You know what I'm saying? So like the media will run the George Floyd clip over and over. The media will tell us he a martyr, he is such and such, and then we'll care about that. You know what I mean? Like they hype up. There's so many people who doing like really positive things every day in our communities, and because the media don't showcase it or we don't even bat an eye at it, it's nothing special. But let somebody go get on Ellen DeGeneres for anything, and we'll think that person has some like extra value that we all need to rally around and support. So if we could figure out a way to communicate with each other on platforms that people actually respect and care about, and we can like get behind or galvanize with some voices, then I think we could be able to do that and really support each other. But right now, like, Fresh and Fit got their own audience, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's all segregated, and we need like one like real platform that we own. We don't even own BET. So
you know what? Hey, AB, since you brought up, well, let me say this, Flight. Since you brought up FNF, right? The thing is, I'll say this with Flacco, right? Flacco being on No Jumper, I don't know how he can navigate, because there's a lot of black people over there, and it's a lot of powerful voices over there. How he can even add his part in to make, because I think I've seen him speaking about it recently. My brother watched a lot of fucking Flacco, like a lot. But we can't really even put our voice out there without them trying to shut us down on the lower levels. How do we get the people that are really like, let's just say, but slightly beneath Kanye, or even slightly above Kanye to speak about it. Because when the people on lower levels speak about it, they're getting shut down immediately to try to rally together.
Well, I think the people at the bottom that are talking about it, they get deemed just the crazies.
Yes.
Like, you know, when you talk about Hebrew Israelites, people don't consider them as credible because people just call them crazy. That's basically. But when Kyrie or when Kanye quotes them in something that they've taken the time to study and factually prove, when they get quoted by somebody like a Kyrie or Kanye, they're like, hold on, you can't be doing that. You can't be quoting like it's just like because everybody when they talk about Kanye and Kyrie, they're like, you need to educate yourself. You're speaking falsehood. Hold on, why are you trying to tell me that what they said is a falsehood? And I don't even know if you've done due diligence to research these things on your own. They trying to get us to believe something that I don't even know if they have actually studied or researched themselves. So that's the scary part right there. So like,
yes,
all they did was make them re-quote and just give a new way of thinking on something, and then allude to Hebrew Israelite ideology. And boy, I've never seen two black men get called anti-Semitic so fast. I said, God damn.
That's also why I bring it up, right? Because let's say this. I'll say this because I'm glad that you brought Flock on here, right? He really has a voice right now, and people are really listening to him. I want to know how he could be able to have certain conversations like this without fucking Adam money up. That's the crazy thing, right? Because when you start fucking with boss money, because these dudes are linked with him, that's what really hurts, and that's what's making people be quiet, right? A lot of these dudes are not trying to get cut off from boss money, and when the ones that are not worried about that get cut off from what they're doing, they no longer have a voice. But we need people that actually do have a voice. That this is a sticky situation right now. This is a very intelligent move if we keeping it real, right? By this community, this is a 100 IQ move. They're playing on emotions, and they're playing on the power move that they have, and it's working right now. And I think I need more time to really think about how this can really work, man.
Here's what I tell you. I think it is that one of the biggest issues is, like, I think about the no jumper platform, right? Is what makes that so interesting and like it's growing the way that it's growing is like you got this white dude who's at the top of it, right? And he has the wherewithal to then hire these other voices to come in there and then add credence and credibility to that. They can speak about issues from many different lenses and all of that stuff, and everybody over there understands that we don't own this, but we're employed by it, right?
Yes.
It's Adams. There's no jumpers. Nobody question that. It's his thing. No matter how long you there, no matter whatever, we work here, we employed by it. When we look at other platforms with black leaders, you think about podcasters, which is the same way No Jumper started off as just a podcast with him, is like there's always a division because in our communities, like everybody needs to be like alpha dog male. You know what I mean? Like there's no you can't take there's no structure. There's this like it's hard to have the black dude be your boss, right? It's hard to have another black dude feel like he is controlling you. You're not used to that. You can get somebody else who don't look like you to give you the orders and all of that stuff, and then we don't mind, we'll fall in line, and we understand that like it's their thing and all of that stuff. I think that what you were talking about earlier about how we allow these smaller voices to build and be able to shape narrative is like we have to create collectives. I look at like Complex. That's a media group. You go look at Overtime. You go look at Ball is Life. You get these media groups that are not just a one person thing, like who running the show and all of that stuff. You have these people who building and cultivating audiences together. And like we struggle to do that in our circles, and that's like why we can't get a message that is concise to get out to people, because we all have our own platforms, our own agendas, our own thing. And like and within that comes infighting, and then like I need you to not do as good so I can do better, you know what I mean? Like it's, and we just can't eat, you know what I mean? And then so you go get one of these other platforms, and then they be like, yo, actually bring your voice over here, bro. And then you bring your voice over there, and then when the money start rolling in or starts getting messed up, they have an opportunity to be like, actually, don't say that. Actually, yeah, people need to hear that. You're right, but we can't do that. And then so that's how you get, like you're saying, like a cat like Flacco, who got like a perspective and a different voice, and then people had to tone his shit down in order, because it's on their platform.
Yes, but that just happened, right? With you can go ahead.
Well, I'm saying, look, compare it to the Kyrie situation. Adam from No Jumper is Adam Silver. Flacco is an employee under Adam. And so if Adam from No Jumper gets the right phone call from somebody with power, influence, and money, such as the people that run some of the platforms that he's on, and say, you need to check some of the things that he's saying. You need to get that video off. You need to take him off your platform. What's going to happen to Flacco? He going to be gone.
The thing is, they did check Flacco just recently after, I think, again, I catch my brother watching this shit, so no, I don't know it verbatim.
The only time I've seen people get on Flacco, it was
after the 15 shot him.
Yeah, it was. Well, that I'm talking about when Flacco was really going at some of these people in gangs, really calling them stupid. He's basically calling it what it is. And so,
it's all in that time.
What happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened. It's certain people in Cali who have influence in a different way. They have influence through violence in the gang community. That said, Adam, you need to check this, and that's the only reason why they would also aggressively be coming at Flacco, saying you need to quiet and tone X, Y, and Z down. Because at the end of the day, if you listen to everything that he was saying on a lot of these topics, he was telling the truth.
Yes.
But again, he was telling the truth. So again, when you have any form of power, you can extract that power on somebody like Adam Silver of the NBA or Adam in No Jumper. If you can flex your muscles and you tell him you need to move the way we want you to move, they're going to do it. Adam Silver only cares because the people that called him about Kyrie have a lot of money and influence.
Yes.
Because these incidents have happened before and he didn't care. There have been white people who've been accused of all types of stuff in the NBA, and it has not been this much fanfare around it over an apology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never seen to this degree where you want a man to say, I'm sorry. Like that's going to change his true feelings on anything. Like, come on, stop it.
Yeah.
It's
and that's what really makes it difficult, right? Because we at that point now where, let's say this, Kyrie really only became boisterous in like the past couple of years. When he was quiet, just talking basketball, and whether he did anything right on and off the court, that shit didn't matter. But when he really started talking about a lot of shit that's really going on, now he's a problem, now he's baggage, and now they're silencing him. Take away his money, take away his ability to do what he loves, and you might break him down and make him bow down. And, just to even touch on the Flacco situation, right? Flacco was doing nothing but telling the truth. Nigga, I'm in South Central LA. I think gang culture is stupid.
Yeah.
Literally, I've been around it my entire life. That's why on some real shit, I be supporting what Charleston White says a lot. These niggas have destroyed everything and gave us an awful image, and I don't stand with that. I have family members in gangs. My own stepfather was even in the gang. All types of shit. I've grown up with this in my entire life, but it never made me think it was cool and not stupid. And Flacco was unafraid of what could come with that, even if it meant his life. And the thing is, he toned it down respectfully for the people that he worked with. Yeah. And I just hate that that's how they get us. You know what I'm saying?
And why can't they tone Charleston White down? Because he ain't under anybody umbrella.
Yes, I was just going to say he worked purely by himself.
Yeah, but can I
the create. Yeah, go ahead, Flay.
The only thing about Charleston White, you know, how can you condone some of the things that he says about some of the people that's deceased and things of that nature? You know, it seems like it's a crazy narrative, and then he talks very boisterous, and then also makes threatening remarks, and then he talks about getting in contact with the police and law enforcement. You know, I just think that's a bad narrative to maneuver. Like, I just feel like if you don't want that kind of energy, you shouldn't be indulging in that kind of activity. You know, so that's the only thing I feel about Charleston White.
But you know, Flight, I've been a big supporter of, if you're going to be a community activist, you can't be street guy, no snitching, and be a community activist. You have to be one or the other. Like, there's no way you can say I'm for the community, fix the community, and you're not willing to pick up the phone and call the police if you see something wrong. Like and so all Charleston White is doing is saying, look, I'm a civilian, I'm a real community activist. I'm willing to pick up the phone and call the cops on you because that's what I do, and that's why you have to respect it to a certain level.
You have to say like fuck this person and that person, but where's
and that's the trick right there, because this is how they get Kyrie. Kyrie mentioned an excerpt out of a documentary, and people are saying you can't talk about that documentary because there are other points in that documentary we don't agree with. We're not specifically talking about this point you were talking about, but all those other things that the documentary talks is anti-Semitic, and so you can't mention none of it. So with Charleston White, it's the same thing. Charleston White may say or do some things that a lot of us don't agree with, but there are a lot of points that he makes that are facts, that are true. And you have to take it with a grain of salt. So I can't just dismiss everything he says just because he says a few things I don't agree with. Because I would damn sure say 95% of the things that he say is facts. If you just sit down and just take it with a grain of salt and be like, man, he right. He ain't lying. When he called out these gangs and the gang culture, he telling facts.
Yeah, and too, I would say I've heard him talk about like these like headline moments, or you know what I mean, that start trending where he talk about people who may have passed or these different personalities, and then he explains the lens in which he's talking about them, and it makes sense, right? When I heard him when he talked about Nipsey Hussle, and then he was saying like he was realized that people were bigging up Nipsey Hussle, but the actual people actual person that needed to be praised was Aramis, the actual person, right? Nobody really saying his name, the name as family. I don't know. He kind of had he had some logic behind it that to me made it seem like, okay, he not just out here talking some bullshit. He actually got a message in there as well. So you get hooked in, and then you start to hear where he coming from, and then it start making sense.
And you know what? Look, I'll touch on this one, right? King Von, right? He's been a big propelling of fuck King Von, and that's that's one of the names I mentioned because Flight brought it up, right? When it comes to King Von, what he talks about is we out here champion a murderer. We are sitting here holding this man in the highest light, and rest in peace. We miss King Von like he ain't killed 7-8 people. He said, "How about I get the victims' families and allow them to share their perspective on it? Because we only want to talk about the dude who became the victim after he victimized multiple other families." And that's why he come with the fuck King Von. When it comes to Nipsey Hussle, he did clarify it recently and said he talking about the rapper, fuck Nipsey Hussle. He want to talk about the man, the father, the son, the person he really is. That was truly a great person. You know, he does give you a bit of a preference in some of the things he says. Like, I would say, you know, you just got to do a little more digging because it's always going to be volatile. He don't hold shit back.
Yeah.
Hey, there was an episode of No Jumper where it was just recently too, where they were talking about how Lil Durk he beat his murder charges got dropped, or the homicide charges against him got dropped, and Gina was like, well, congratulations to him for for getting the charges dropped. And Flacco almost reverted back and was like, "Congratulations." He's like, "Would you congratulate somebody for barely skating through a murder charge off of technicalities where he was really caught on video being a part of facilitating this stuff?" It's just like, we got to stop condoning some of the foolery too. And saying stuff like what Gina said. You can't be like, "Congratulations for beating a murder charge," because if you say that to the family, you ain't gonna say that to the family who actually lost their life. You gonna go tell them congratulations to Dirk for beating this charge? Like that's the stuff that tripped me out. That's what we fucked up. We just kind of crazy.
Here's where I will say this, right? My thoughts on this is this. It's like I understand that perspective of like the folks like a King Von and all them like, "Oh yeah, murderer," such and such, and we can't champion that. But I feel like the hard thing to me about the street code or that game or that whatever, it's like it's a game in which people opt in to play. And so if you opt in to play a game and then you end up dying in the game where the rules say that you're probably going to either die or go to jail, then like, to me, I wouldn't be like, I have a hard time condemning or saying like, "Yo, this dude is a murderer killing people for no reason," when I'm looking at folks who opt in to play this random ass game. To me, if you're a murderer, you killing people for no reason, then you're somebody who like this folks, you out here robbing and killing innocent people who ain't did nothing. But if y'all all decide to play Call of Duty with each other and then you lose Call of Duty, then I'm not gonna be like, "Damn, bro, I can't believe like this dude killed you and you know what I mean, went on a killing spree and y'all was all playing Call of Duty. If he hadn't killed you, you was gonna kill him." And so that's where I be standing with the King with some of these dudes, right? Where like, you know what I mean? I ain't going. I understand the world that y'all live in is different than mine. It's silly. I would never play that game, but you know what I mean? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Right. Can I follow that up? You brought up, like you said, you brought that up, the street code and things of that nature. The thing about some of these guys, these personalities, is I just feel like they promoting talent. Like you just stated, like there's an opt-in situation. I just feel like these guys are promoting talent to the young kids. If you opt into this lifestyle, you could do all this bullshit and you could just go ahead and just start talent. You know, because these guys, that's all these dudes are promoting. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say fuck you, and then when y'all come get me, I'm calling the police. When y'all run down on me, it's just a horrible message that's being sent to you. Don't opt into this shit. You understand? It's just how I feel. Just like you said, you know, it's just an opt-in situation. It's just crazy what's going on. It's not just him. There's a lot of people that's doing it. I just feel like it's horrible. You know, I don't think any child should be doing any violent shit. I don't condone any of that stuff. You know, a lot of this stuff is allegedly had happened as well. You know, some stuff is coming out. You know, but I mean, it's crazy what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say,
like, you know, I'm saying. Let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
The street code, as we know it in the black community, was only created for the goofies. And what I mean by that is, it was the people at the top of all these gangs that was telling the people at the bottom no snitching, because they knew the people at the bottom were the only ones that could get them to jail. But see, the people at the top always snitch. Like there's a million stories we have about gang leaders getting out, X, Y, Z. They've always told to get out. It's the people at the bottom where they created this culture. This is a street code. You can't tell, you can't snitch. But it was only designed for I call them send-offs. The guys at the bottom are the send-offs. Right, the kids in Chicago, the guys that first joined the gang, they giving them nation packs. You got to sell the nation packs and bring all the money back to us. And if you get caught, you can't tell nobody, even though you wasn't making no money off these packs. You can't tell nobody where you got supplied. None of this. You can't tell, because that's to protect the people at the top. But if the guy at the top gets caught, in almost all these gangs, they snitch and tell. And this is Mexican gang, black gangs, all of them. So is the street code even real? Because it was meant for goofies. It wasn't meant for anything about family or loyalty. Because when guys go to jail, ain't nobody taking care of their kids, ain't nobody taking care of their family. There's no structure behind it. So is there really a street code?
And
Right, I'm not
your baby mama.
street code either.
Yeah. To me, I think it's I'm not a champion of that either. I like when folks say, "Yo, you're supposed to tell," because because it's stupid. It's dumb to opt in. And then what I realized with the street code is that they kind of position it like, oh, if it's only ratting if you're in the game and then you tell, right? However, even if you're not in the game, if they accidentally kill your brother and you not in the game and you go and say, oh, XYZ who was in the game killed my brother, they still gonna be on your ass for telling. You know what I'm saying? Like it's they don't have the code lined up where we only gonna get mad at you for telling if you are about this life. They gonna get mad at you for telling no matter what. You know what I'm saying? You could be a grandma and you start reporting on things that you see next door and they gonna be on your ass because you telling. So to me, I say snitch. What do they say? Ain't no honor amongst thieves. And so that's my perspective on it. Like
you say you telling people to snitch?
I'm saying yes. I'm saying snitch, tell. If something happened to me and you see it, call the police. Let them know what they did to the boy AB. I'm calling them on you.
That's not snitch.
Check this out. Me and you in a car driving. I come scoop you up, right? You done came to visit Arizona. I got a Drake. Look. No, hold on. Remember, there's no honor. Hold on. I got a Draco under your seat. We get pulled over. They yank us up the car. They Draco under your seat. Right? I ain't saying nothing because it's the code. I can't say nothing. It's mine, is yours. I don't know. I can't say nothing. But you know that motherfucker mine. You out in Arizona in no man's land. You ain't got no people out here. What you gonna tell them, cop?
It was FYS. I'm gonna be like, I ain't even gonna tell him. I'll be like, bro, tell him. You want me to tell him or you gonna tell him?
But real shit.
Like you gonna hold it down, play. We gonna just do this 20 feet together, huh?
Yeah.
I don't even find this shit funny with all this telling shit. All jokes aside, man.
No, that's a real situation.
It's real situation there.
What you would do is just say it's not yours. If you ain't got no fingerprints on nothing, it's not yours. You feel me? That's all I gotta say. I don't gotta say.
No. They got something called like constructive possession, where if it's in your vicinity, it's yours.
Yeah. They would just say who else is it? Whose else could this be?
They're gonna do their job. They're gonna do their job. It's not mine.
So Flight,
somebody going down too.
So Flight, you just gonna sit in that cell? You gonna sit in that jail cell while they figure it out?
Like I said, it's not mine. Look, I will have a good lawyer. Like I said, we'll go from there.
You can't. You got children. You can't risk it.
But on some real shit, in a predicament that you're saying, nigga, you're supposed to take that.
Facts.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You supposed to.
No. I'm supposed to snitch to myself.
No, it's not that. It's just, I'm just saying, when you're in a situation like that, if you really live in this lifestyle, right? You know that's your gun. You're supposed to take that. I'd have been in a situation.
We know how it goes. That ain't happening in the street.
Not even a gun. I'm talking about just been in situations with cars where there may have been weed in the car, things of that nature. The police pull us over. This, that, and the third. There's times where we was out. One time I was in the mall. I was with a nigga. I ain't even gonna say he just had a whole bunch of shit on him. Fucking boys just ran down us. We were smoking in the fucking parking lot in the mall. You feel me? And like I said, niggas just fucking around. Like I said, just took him. You feel me?
Hold on, like they only took him.
Yeah.
What did he tell him, Blake? Hold on, would the other guy confirm this version of the story?
Nah, but I'm gonna keep it 100. His crime wasn't told on himself. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, let me tell you something. Don't ever tell on yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Like, what you mean?
Nah, time out. We was about to get off. Yo, like, he just fucks around and said, yeah, I got weed on me. He said, yo, the police asked, yo, who got weed on him? This nigga said he got weed on him.
Well, that's different though, because I'm talking about I'm saying if my Draco is under your car seat and they got to hit you with constructive possession, are you taking that charge?
Listen, real shit depends. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not my gun. I'm not putting that gun. And another thing, we gotta get knocked at the same time. So if we're in the car, right, I'm gonna be able to communicate with you when we get a shot. You know what I mean? So bottom line is, you gonna take this fucking,
Flight, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be like, Flight, I ain't snitching on myself. That's what I'm gonna say.
Like I said, I'm just gonna have the lawyer. It all depends on some real shit. I'm not telling. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna have I'm gonna have the lawyer. You know what I mean? It's not my shit. That's why I'm gonna tell the police.
So when you go to jail and they let me go with a ticket.
Well, like I said, it is what it is.
What he gonna say is, it's not mine. But if you read that serial number,
Flight gonna have his whole elbow pointed at me. It ain't mine.
That's not
but
fun, man.
you know, if you read who it was registered to,
Flight. You want me to tell you what I'm gonna do if I'm in that situation and I'm in your car?
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't even be in no situation like that with me.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. And be like, that's his gun. That ain't my shit. That's his shit. That's not mine. And I don't consider that talent. Because snitching only involves two people willingly involving themselves in a criminal act together. Like if me and you go rob a bank together, I get away, you get jammed up, and then you be like, oh, my partner was such and such. Now that might be considered actual snitching because we both willingly involved ourselves in a crime and one got away and one didn't, and you just told for no real reason. So I mean,
yeah, I'll be honest. I if that happened, I wouldn't like be on the street and be like, yo, it's his. But I would never claim it as mine. You know what I'm saying? Even if it got to the place it was like, man, if you said it was half yours, half mine, then like we could split the time. I'd be like, nah, and then it would come to a point where once I realized that you wasn't gonna claim it, then I would be like, yo, check the fingerprints, check the clip. It ain't mine. It ain't mine.
AB, you ain't trying to do all that in the county jail. You ain't trying to sort all this stuff out. I'm figuring that out right there on the streets. I'm not about to go touch no county jail because of no.
That's what I'm saying though. I'd press you first to be like, bro, talk to him. Like, come on now.
Yes.
Like, I'd be like, yo, it can't be mine. I just got off the plane. This is my luggage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think I flew with that over here? You know what I'm saying? And then I'd be like, yo, y'all need to talk to him. It would take me a minute to be like, yo, it's his.
But that's
I sign on the paper.
AB, that's called dry snitching. So
I'll dry snitch. Oh, I'll dry snitch for sure.
And I do want to
I would say I will hold snitch now. If you holding out and it come down, I will hold snitch, but out of respect, I would let you know what I mean? I would figure this out first, right? If there's if we could get a lawyer and we could both figure out a way to like not get in trouble for it, I'd rather go that route than have you go down.
No. I'm not about to pay no $5,000-$10,000 in lawyer fees just to figure this out.
Yeah, no. I'm saying that I wouldn't do that either. I'm not finna pay for a lawyer either. But if you got the bread, your shit, and you like, yo, my lawyer gonna fight it, and such we're gonna get it thrown out. They know it ain't yours. Then I.
Ivy, what if you just had a bad month and you can only afford it? You can only get a public defender.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I got to pay for a lawyer, then I'm telling. I'm not coming out of the pocket, all that shit. I ain't trying to pay bond and all that, none of that.
Can I say something?
Well, I don't want to address you, Flight.
You're not, huh?
I do want to address you and say this. It's not not 100% advocating for snitching. It's not like, you know, everybody's looking to tell at all times. As soon as you do something, niggas on the phone. It's not in that aspect. But there's a lot of people out here really doing some disgusting things in the world, and they're willing to let you go down for it. You could be not an accessory at all, but if you get caught in a situation, even being around that person, you can go down. And if they're not going to tell on themselves, they're willing to let you with children behind bars.
Well, I want to follow something up. Because FYF was kind of twisting his statements and stuff like that. You're not a snitch if you're not a part of that lifestyle. So if you're not in the streets actively, you know what I mean? It's just like playing basketball. You know, when you go play basketball, I could tear my ACL, I could tear my meniscus, I could sprain my ankle. This is what you're signing up for. You know, so when you're in the streets, you feel me? So if you're not playing that game, you know, you don't have to abide by those rules. You know, if somebody gets robbed and the next door neighbor call the police and identify you, she's not a snitch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It don't matter though.
Are you a civilian?
They say that. They'll say that you're a civilian, but if I tell on you, you're not. Most cases, if you're in that life, and let's say we in the car, I don't even know, but the cops say that there's a pound of cocaine in the trunk, and you about that life, you got to re-up. There's a such and such behind you, and I'm the witness. They not trying to hear on the block, oh, AB told he the witness, he gonna testify in court, and we not gonna do nothing to AB. We're gonna let him live because he ain't really about that life. They ain't trying to hear that. They gonna be on my head, bro. You gonna tell, and then niggas gonna be trying to do shit to me. I'm gonna have to get up out of the way, protective custody, and all of this stuff. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't mind. It ain't no it's like FYF was saying. A lot of these rules was created to control shit, and then they make it seem like, it's only about if you in the game. But we hear stories of family members and all of that stuff who get popped and killed. I was listening to some shit in the story about the dudes in Jacksonville, and the girl's brother got gunned down, and she was on the Twitter talking about how people know who killed her brother and nobody gonna say nothing, and was popping it like that. She didn't even say who it was. A couple days later, they sprayed her down.
That's a fact.
But you know what though, AB? That's the whole civilian thing. It is gang culture trying to kind of dress it up and be like, nah, it don't affect y'all, but it really do. So when they talking to just on like these podcasts and these TV shows, they'll be like, nah, you a civilian, it don't apply to you. But in the real life, in the real street, this is why when shit go, when you have that dead body in the hood and you got all the detectives walking around asking questions, it's the reason why everybody be like, nah, I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing. Even though all of them probably saw what happened, there's a reason why people be terrified to say what they saw. Like if it was like how they say, then everybody that's not in the game would be telling like, nah, I saw Rob do it. And it would be no issue. But we all know that whole civilian thing is just something that they say on podcasts and on TV to try to dress it up to me. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of loyalty in this. We got a little bit of, you know, we nice guys. We don't mess with the regular people. That ain't true, bro. They target regular people on a daily basis. That's the whole purpose of the games. Gangs are not meant to go target other gangs. Gangs really don't give a fuck about other gangs. They prey on the weak. That's why they need big groups. They prey on weak. Extortion, all these things. This is what they do. That's just part of gang culture. I mean,
you seen you seen when Wack 100 was talking to 6ix9ine, right? And he was asking him, you know, if you snitched and you were a civilian, we're not gonna hold that against you. But you saying that you're part of this and that, and you snitching, it's a bad look. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, what kind of mind fuckery is this? Yeah. He don't want, like, this dude got, I think 2 kids now, but he's not trying to sit here and do time for niggas that then took his baby mama, that then tried to get him killed, all types of weird shit. Like, why would he not snitch on these dudes? They literally tried to take his life and take him away from his family, and he didn't really have much to do with what they got actually pent up for.
But he did though. Here's what I say about
he did.
He did. He was. Here's my problem with the 6ix9ine thing is. It's this thing that we do with black folks, right? If 6ix9ine was like, think about King Von. If he was Chief Keef, if he was a young black dude, he would never get a pass. He only remotely get the pass because he is. I would even consider it, but I would say he probably like a white passing Mexican. Like I don't think you see him and be like, oh, he Mexican. Like you got to figure that out. Like. He is anything. I'm saying with the hair and all that, but either way, he anything but black. If he was a black dude, they would be like, "Yo, this is the most menacing dude in the world." He wouldn't get the passes to be considered like, "Oh, really not about that life." Even if he could have been a straight A student. Went to a private school, button up. They could have pictures of him with the freshest cut in a 3-piece suit all over the internet. The moment that he made that shift into that type of lifestyle, they would have been like, "Oh well, he used to be a good dude, and then now he a menace to society and such and such and such." That's my only problem with that situation. Is I understand what Wack was saying, but I feel like Wack was giving him a pass simply because he wasn't a black dude. If any other black kid, same age, shit, even younger, would have been doing the same activities, they would have just gone ahead and classified him as a gangster, a such and such and a such and such, and he would be a snitch, a rat, and probably would be treated far less. This the kid from Philly who they were crucifying for snitching, and he was a part of a crime when he was 14 years old, and his mom made him tell. And they damn near ostracized him from the game, and everybody unfollowed him and all of that stuff. He was 14. Nobody said, "Yo," well, I mean, a few people did, but the overall sentiment was never, "Oh, he wasn't really that guy. He wasn't a part of it. He was coerced and extorted and frauded into doing all that stuff." They ain't give him no pass.
But see, that's why I don't respect the whole snitching thing. The main thing is because the one thing I know for certain is that all the people that act like they standing 10 toes down, they get to sitting under them hot lights in that interrogation room. They're gonna do the same thing. When them detectives talking about they slam you with football numbers in 40, 50 years, 9 out of 10 people is talent. Whether you in the game, coach, or whether you're not, 9 out of 10 people is talent. You might have that one weirdo that's so loyal to this shit that he ain't saying nothing. But most people start to think about their own mortality, especially when you start talking about football numbers and you're going to be sitting in this thing for the rest of your life. Like, we're not talking about getting caught with a little bag of weed in a couple of days in jail. I'm talking about the stuff that's really going to take your whole life away. Like when 6ix9ine was talking about his mortality, like he was facing numbers that could have took away his whole youth. Right? You gonna like, you know, as much as stand up as everybody is want to be, as stand up as Flight is, if somebody sat down with some football numbers, Flight will tell too.
No, that's not.
Nah, I don't know. There's certain people who. There's the one dude, the cat who is. Yeah,
I'm just telling the truth, man.
Some of them other dudes in the gang with him.
Your kids.
Hey, we gonna see Flight. We gonna see Flight with that Big Mac and that French.
I'm not gonna put myself in a situation like that. I don't ever live my life like that.
Yeah,
I know you're not. I know that's the one way to avoid.
I don't live my life. I don't be fucking around. I don't be hanging out with niggas. I don't ever go out and chill with people because of shit like that. You know, because you know. I don't want to be in no situation like that. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm in a call with these niggas and they do this, and when we all get locked up. Like I'm in Georgia. weed is not illegal here. I go ride out with some niggas. They got all this, that, and the third on them. We get pulled over. They lock everybody the fuck up. You feel me? I just go there and I'm listen. Just give me my shit and I'm just ready to get the fuck up out of here. You know, I'm not telling on nobody. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. You feel me? Like, I don't be doing none of that shit. I never. Like I said, it is what it is. I don't fuck with people because, like I said, I got kids. Like you said, I'm trying to. Man, I ain't with all of that. I ain't with the hype. I done did that shit already.
Bro, here's what I tell y'all. I saw I seen an interview from the dude Shotty, who was with 6ix9ine and all of them, and it was he said some shit, and I believed it the way he said it. He was talking about how
the interview from jail, right?
Yeah, and he was talking about how they all went into that situation, walked around every day prepared to go lay down for 20 years. Like, if it come up to it, we get busted, we get in trouble, we don't mind going to jail for 20 years. That is what it is. Their heads wrapped around it. And he was talking about how telling or whatever never even crossed his mind because he had already, like, made a decision that he was, if he needed to, he would go to jail.
Maybe here's the problem. See, this is why Shotty's lying. The problem is in a certain cases, if the last person to talk loses. So you already had somebody who was already snitching before 6ix9ine. Then 6ix9ine told himself, once they max out on the snitches, everybody else is screwed. So Shotty is talking from the perspective where he didn't have an opportunity to even tell because they didn't even come to him and say, look, if you talk to us about this, then you can walk out in 1 or 2 years. They didn't even give him that opportunity. That's the problem. He acting like he all stand up. No, basically, your opportunity to tell got shut down because 6ix9ine beat you to the punch. If somebody else could have beat 6ix9ine to the punch and maybe put 6ix9ine in a very precarious situation where he couldn't tell, but that's how snitching works. It's really first punch. You got to be able to go in there first. You want to be one of the first ones to do it. And Shotty's just lying. He just got screwed.
They're doing that with YSL right now, right?
They lock up. So wait a minute. I'm kind of close to the situation. Like I fuck with Mal Matrix. Like I kind of like grew up on his music. Like I said, he was in Bird Gang with Max B, Stack Bundles, everybody like that. I fuck with Mal Matrix, man. You know, so that's kind of messed up. But at the end of the day, they should have never even rocked with him. It was 6ix9ine. You know, but it wasn't a crazy situation how that even happened. You know, but it's fault on both sides. Because, like I said, he was like kind of like brought into the game, but 6ix9ine knew what everything was, what it was about. But at the end of the day, they just kind of brought him in on some business shit and had him running around with the shit. They should have never.
They was extorting him, man. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what it was. Listen, they was extorting him, man. They was not doing no real business with him.
Yeah.
They was extorting the shit out of him.
Of course,
he was a cash cow.
He gained a lot being 9 trade.
Yeah,
I mean that is give and take.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But even that, like extorting, that we could use that word because of who he is. You know what I'm saying? But if he was anything else, they wouldn't say necessarily extorting. They would be like he'd just be a gang member, a part of it, and all that stuff.
No, AB, what you saw on that video with him getting snatched up in that car, and he's saying, "Look, man, I was supposed to call you, man. I would have gave you." They was extorting him, man, because what you saw in that video exposed it.
But I saw another video where he was like, "Hey yo, I got a whatever on old boy head if y'all get him."
Yeah.
And what happened? Well, this is what happened. Somebody was like, we can get an easy 20, 30 bands out of them. They ran over there by Chief Keef and them. They shot in the air 2-3 times, went back to 6ix9ine, come on with them 30 bands. They didn't even shoot at Chief Keef. They shot in the air.
They hit the building.
As crazy as 6ix9ine was, people thought he was like goofy or some funny dude. At the time, he was running with some real wild niggas out there in New York. Like he was running with the real niggas, like out in Brooklyn, like the real 9 Trey. Like I said, like Mal Matrix, like y'all need to do your homework. Like that he told us some real niggas, man. That's all I can tell you. I mean, that was some wild shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, he told on. But again, if they was really about that life, then they wouldn't have been so sloppy to really be committing real crimes around him.
Yeah, it was fault on both sides, but they must have looked at that money And then, like I said, there was some risk is, I guess, worth taking. But that was wild. They should have never made him blood. They should have just brought him in as an artist. He had protection.
What did he really tell on? Because it was the other guy, the other Mexican guy, the driver of that car, who was doing all the telling.
Yeah,
right.
He had the wire on and everything.
Anything significant?
Yeah, he had a whole wire.
Yeah, he went on the stand. He said that Malmatrix was the Godfather. He talked about He talked about Shotty. You know, he took the stand now, so you can't don't talk about the Mexican dude in the front seat.
Yeah,
he did what he was for me. He did what he's supposed to.
Yeah, he wasn't a real. She never grew up in the streets, so that was
no. But hold on, there's no street code. Any street guy in his situation would have told.
The catch is, from my understanding, what he did was he gave them the proof that they needed to solidify it was a gang. So he got up there to say, yes, this was a gang. I was a part of it. Such and such was the leader. Such and such was the arms. And then that's the part that he ended up snitching on, is they used him to help the RICO go through so they can get everybody. And that's where the whole shit where Jim Jones, and he called out Cardi B and was throwing these random names in there, and just to like help create the infrastructure and the structure, so they would be like, see, this is an enterprise.
Do what you do. I mean, when you got something to lose, you don't tell. Look, the dude's not telling them. The dude's just broke with public defenders. The dude's just trying to be loyal. If you got really something to lose, like most of the people at the top of these games, they tell it.
You know what?
No, I studied that FYI. When they as soon as they get in the car, what you want to know? I'm ready to tell.
I do want to ask y'all this, right? Because
FYF is right, but you're not telling the stories of the people that stood tall, though. It's some people that did.
The people that stand tall are usually people with no money, though. The people who stand tall.
John Gotti stood tall.
But hold on, but see, you can't compare the Italian mafia to black street gangs. It's two completely different things.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent in that too, as well. You know.
Yeah, they tell too. But what I'm saying, we talking about black gangs.
There was some black gangs too.
I'm saying the guys that's acting like they like Shotty. One of the reasons why he didn't have nothing to lose either. He ain't had no money.
Yeah.
They didn't get that much.
They're doing that now.
15 years, 10 years. They're going to be home in a second. Why?
That ain't no second.
Yeah. Well,
that ain't no second.
That's also happening. That's happening right now in the case of XXXTentacion. One of the driver just spoke up recently, said, I was just driving. I didn't have no parts in him being murdered.
Look, I called that when it happened. I said, why they do that? Because they all going to tell on each other in about 2 weeks. That's exactly what they did.
Well, they can't completely because they got an order. That wasn't just no robbery. That definitely was a hit. They got an order. So I think the other two was, that's for sure a hit.
Which one was it? What are you talking about?
It's my XXX.
Oh, okay.
That was a hit.
Oh, that's what happens when you got 4 dudes playing around in the street stuff, trying to pull off a robbery, and they never done one before. Because real jack boys they just use the gun as a scare tactic. They don't really shoot. Like, real jack boys will not shoot. Not the real ones. Now, the guys that's just nervous and jittery and trigger, those are the motherfuckers that they might be their first job. Just like the PNB Rock situation. The dad sent his son in, 17, 18 years old. Motherfucker jittery, nervous. See one little twitch of movement, you forget to shooting all over the place. You idiot. They got everybody ran up. Come on, man.
We're gonna talk about the X stuff off air, but because I do want your opinion on that. I'll hit you up on that one. I'm gonna say why it's a hit.
This is how I know it couldn't have been a hit, because them idiots were walking around in a goddamn motor store all on camera and everything right before the idiots did it. They was stupid as hell. They camera faces all over the place. Y'all stupid.
Well, somebody got to go down for it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the first 2 people that tell, They about to get a slighter sentence. The last two to snitching. Y'all about to eat this.
No, I do want to ask y'all this because I'm definitely gonna hit you up on that FYI. Is WAC 100 dry snitching right now with this Takeoff situation?
On which part? What is he saying?
Because he's basically putting let's say this: if you chaperoning somebody, and
hold on, y'all gotta hop off. My bad. I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna catch up with y'all in a minute.
All right,
FYF, appreciate you.
All right, y'all.
Well, yeah, I'll ask y'all because basically what 100 is saying right now is, if I had the Migos out here and I'm chaperoning them, they gonna be in a situation where nothing can even go wrong. It's gonna be all love. It's gonna be peaceful energy, and it's gonna be basically this is how it's gonna go. It's a situation. He was saying that Jay Prince Jr., if you chaperoning these guys and one of your guys catch this body, like it's on you type shit. And I kind of feel like he dry snitching on some real shit, because people wasn't even talking about Jay Prince Jr. to begin this situation. It was just like, oh, this went down bad. Like WAC 100 put a name out there, and he already been having beef with Jay Prince, right? Or where they have some back and forth. But I feel as if even in that situation, just because they had back and forth, he kind of dry snitching and putting all of the blame of this murder on Jay Prince Jr. right now.
Nah, I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I would call that dry snitching. I think it's just stating the obvious. Like, I feel like if you looked at that situation, that's what most people. I feel like that's what I would think. Like, I don't know. I would, but especially with that level.
Okay, no, I was gonna say he just explained it in a way of like where he's giving real context to people that have no clue about that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People that would never have access to that existence. He's giving them an understanding and painting a picture of how it's his fault.
Yeah,
and that's where I think it's kind of like dry snitching. I don't mind. I'm cool with the snitching. I'm all for it. I'll fuck with Takeoff. Let's go ahead and get some names. Let's get a shooter. I need a witness statement. I need everything. But and let me say this to Flight. Look, I don't just snitch in my daily life. You know what I'm saying? Like conversations I have one-on-one, they'll never come to light unless we talk about it openly. But when it comes to situations where smut and stains is on your name, or blood is on your hands, or being put on your hands, I think that's when, and people putting a certain light on you, I think that's when you get to this snitch type energy. Because WAC was always cool with the Migos too. So I feel like he unintentionally, but also intentionally, putting the spotlight on Jay Prince Jr. and trying to, have him a bit jammed up, and to where he gonna get questioned.
If I remember correctly, wasn't WAC just beefing with the princes?
Yes.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if his statements were related to that, right? It was just an opportunity to throw some more smut over their way. That's right, because I forgot it was over some documentary or Larry Hoover videos or some shit, something like that they was beefing over. So I wouldn't be surprised at that. I do hear what you're saying. Like he is, but I think that's become the brand of WAC 100, right? And even all of that. I can't think of the app that they be on. What's the name of it? Clubhouse, yeah. Where that's what people like listening to him, is because he does give you some insight on the culture that most of us are not really a part of like that. But so I think it's hard, but it's like I was looking at the stream the one night where DJ Academics, Flocko, and all of them are sifting through videos, like detective and like zooming and shit and slowing it down, trying to see who got what and trying to solve the case. I don't know, man. I get the street code shit says that you can't tell and you can't do all of that stuff, but I don't know. I think that at some point, like, it got to be like that should just make sense. If
snitching makes sense.
Yeah. If you came to visit me, like, I don't know. It's like this. I think it's a twofold situation though, right? Because everybody got their own honest over their own self and their decisions, right? I went back. I got I'm from Florida, so I went back to visit some of my people in Jacksonville. And I got my younger cousins, they probably about 10, 15 years younger than me. And they be doing music and stuff. And my cousin is telling me about how they got a concert that he performing tonight at a club. And he like, yo, y'all should come out. And I'm like, I'm interested because I would love to go see my cousin, but I'm like, but where is it at? I know how they get down to Jacksonville, and I'm like, where is it at? And I'm like, but I obviously don't even know the area like that, so I couldn't even tell you. So I'm like, what? Break it down for me. Like, if I come, what's the likelihood of some silly shit going on? And my cousin said, bro, you'll be all right because we're gonna be there and we're gonna have all our guns on us. And when he said that, I said, "Oh, so I'm definitely not coming. If y'all gotta carry guns for us to be safe, I don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying?" And so there's a part of me who, like, in that situation with them is like, if you tell me we're going to a spot and niggas is gonna be in there with loaded firearms, I'm probably gonna sit it out. That's me. But if for some reason I do go and you tell me, like, it's chill, we're bringing protection just to make sure, I don't know, I would imagine that you would step in, right? Even the shit with the arguments, it seemed like, from what I was hearing, is that the party that they were at was invite only. I imagine that if you got in there, you had to know those folks and all of that jazz. And so whenever there's an argument or something going down, like if you came to my family reunion and then you started arguing with my brother, I wouldn't be like, yo, me and my brother about to jump you, right? I would be like, yo, let's calm this down. Like, come on over this way. I'm gonna break this up. I don't want y'all fighting. That's, you know what I mean? Like, it's too much conflict of interest and it's too dirty. Like, I would try to quell the situation. And I think that from what I was seeing with the video clips that came out, the people who should have probably been mediating that situation didn't seem like they were mediating that situation. And so to me, I think that's where some of that the fingers being pointed at those dudes is valid, because if that's all your people and your people is starting to issue, you know what I mean? Like, step in there and squash it.
This is what I hate about the situation, right? In all honesty, it did de-escalate by him leaving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If things were to really hit the next level, it'd be like some shoving or some real face-to-face, like, you know what heat it is.
Yeah.
Quavo said, nah. He said, all right, we out.
I'm gonna
He
get out of here, yeah.
right there. And then 5 seconds after that, we hearing shots. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we hearing shots? He de-escalated the best way he could in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Was to leave it alone. You know, they could have resurfaced, like, probably tomorrow if they was going to still be out there, like, you know, or this happened, my bad, you know, that type of shit, or I'll pay you the money, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But instead, immediately after, it probably wasn't 100% intentional, but that's just how life, you know, unfolds sometimes. Sometimes it's in your cards in certain situations for the universe to unfold, and Takeoff got hit.
Yeah.
And that was so unfortunate. I think that's what really, that's really what's fucking people up right now. Because it wasn't even 100% intentional, but it happened. And it was quick. It wasn't even an opportunity to save his life.
Yeah.
And that's what Wack even mentioned, right? He was saying that you see Jay Prince. I'll just call him Jay Prince. It's the same fucking name.
Yeah.
He's sitting here talking about don't ask no questions, just getting people out and leaving. Meanwhile, you see Quavo over his cousin and nephew body. I forgot which one he is to him, but either way, over he asked
nephew.
for help.
Yep.
Yeah, he over nephew body asking for help, and Jay Prince don't give a fuck. But that's the people we came here with you, and you don't give a fuck about this situation. That's when it does get fishy, and pointing the finger at that is like, you know, I justify it by understanding the fact that if he seemed more interested, it'd be a little less, you know, on him. It'd feel like, wow, this is really a tragic situation.
Yeah.
But this nigga didn't give a fuck. The whole dude leaking out, and he got a straight face, not even looking that way. and left. And that's where I don't support this culture in that way, man. Like I'm all for black excellence, and I understand gang culture, but if we losing lives and we taking each other's lives, and it's in that kind of fashion, it puts the bad stain on us. Yeah. Even though that's a very rare situation. That's like one of the rarest situations I've ever seen and heard in my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
But it happened, and we lost somebody who was impactful because of it. That's one. Hey, I'm gonna keep it real. That's 1/3 of the greatest group we've seen.
Yeah,
out of black culture.
Sure, straight, especially hip hop related for sure, as well.
Yeah,
I think to me, man, what I realized with it, and it reminds me of the King Von situation, right? Where it's some shit that started as a fight. And then immediately somebody in the entourage just started shooting. And like, it's just that weird thing where it could have been a brawl, you feel me? But I think that he
got on him too. That's the worst part.
Yeah. And what it is though is like and from my understanding, it was like the folks who came with the Migos who started popping it off, or you know what I mean. There's a dude who they were saying was like suspected, and he was standing back there with the gun in his hand as they were arguing. And so I feel like I can understand a situation where if you in Houston, y'all surrounded by a bunch of dudes, it's 5 of y'all, 30 of them, you thinking to yourself, we're gonna shoot our way out of here, and then and so then y'all start shooting little, you know what I mean, but you shooting because you're scared, and then you hit the wrong people, and so it's just a bad situation. But I don't know, man, it's tough. That shit reminds me, it's funny, I was just thinking about this, the time I was ever in that thing is we were doing that JBA stuff, we were in Lithuania, and that time LaMelo slapped that dude. And I remember we were doing a broadcast, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh shit, we're gonna have to like fight our way out of Lithuania, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going down, like it's 100 of them, it's us, and we're gonna have to like fight our way up out of here. And I imagine like that's how they feel in those moments where it's the 50, 60 of them, and just, you know what I mean, a few of y'all start popping off, instead of just handling it like what we would consider to be men and duking it out. I don't know, but shit, bro, I'm about to it's getting late over here. I'm starting to fade, so I'm about to slide in this bad boy.
Well, I say, look, I appreciate you for having me. I wish I had came earlier, but I was on Flight Channel. We was talking about Gelo and shit. I seen you in there when we was talking about the game and whatnot.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Yeah. Let's end on a basketball tip right quick. Man, giving Gelo 3 minutes, disgusting. Absolutely. Like, I don't think I'll ever watch another game unless somebody pinged me and said Gelo got it in. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you, AB, though. Appreciate you. We'll do it again sooner than later.
For sure. Yeah. Shit was wild tonight, though. I ain't let my dog play, man. Sad day for the heroes. But shoot, all right, though. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
All right, you too, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Always great conversation.
Sure, yeah. Yes. I love you, man. Peace.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. Some good conversation tonight. I feel like we talked about a few different things. We had some really in-depth conversation on the Kyrie situation, and then just culture in general. So expect the title to change on this video over time. But dope, man. It's cool, folks. Glad people popped in here and all that jazz, man. Main man, AB the Hero. We finna get up out of here. It's getting late. Tap in with us tomorrow, man. We out. Peace.
Be the hero. No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.